Yo.
Yo.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We had
Oh my
an
God.
interesting weekend, didn't we?
Oh my God. Did we ever?
Just a tad.
Did we ever?
Just a tad. I do believe we had some things happen
Uh-huh.
that were a wee bit crazy, to say the least.
I just can't believe that they 320.5'd us.
Yes.
Like gave me basically
Yeah.
my favorite episode all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yep. Yep.
like, we heard you liked 320, so how about we just give you another look at 320
How about we do it
from
again?
another perspective?
Even better, how about we take a character that comes up with a plan to euthanize an entire race? I mean, technically, it's more like sterilization, but
Well, yeah,
and then
who cares about
we'll
that?
show how it's all
We-
rooted
we
in his
actually get
childhood trauma.
Yeah, we actually get to know this character.
Yeah.
Zeke was
Uh-huh.
Zeke was before this episode probably one of the least well written, most important characters ratio. Like his importance
Well-
in the plot to how much he was actually written as far as like a character
The
was non-existent.
well, maybe let's phrase that a different way.
Uh-huh.
The perspective that we had on him as a person was very little.
Was from the outside.
Right. It was very much from the outside, right?
We had never known.
We knew enough that we knew that we couldn't trust him because he was, backstabbing all sorts of different people and things like that. But we didn't really know who he actually was. What does this guy want?
Right.
Hmm.
We
Curious.
never had anything strictly kind of from his first person perspective.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
Uh-huh.
that's something that's a bit crazy to think about. That
Yeah.
all the way now we finally get his actual backstory.
Yep. His backstory, his intentions, what his plan is, and apparently what Aaron's is. Lovely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm freaking out right now because the fact that we had the Warriors with the sneak peek basically
Yeah.
2 episodes ago.
And we still haven't seen them yet.
They haven't
Like,
even
not
shown
since
up
then.
yet. They haven't even shown up yet.
Who knows? Maybe the part will end and we won't actually see them at all. You know? It's possible. Could happen.
Come on, we need some UC big girl, like, just suddenly Armored Titan just comes busting up and we're like, hey, rematch, Shiganshina 3.0.
So Caleb.
Wait, was the Colossal Titan and Armored Titan reveal, what wall was that at?
That was at...
That wasn't at Shiganshina.
No, that was Wal Maria, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, because they dealt with all the conflict because they thought that Wal Maria had been breached, or Maria, or however you want to call it, and then they did the whole thing at the
Right.
tower, and then they went to the wall, and then yeah,
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Right. That was Deku's voice actor
Rosa.
too.
yeah,
That was Deku's voice actor.
I got the order of the walls mixed up. Oh, that's right, it was. Yeah. Yeah. See, as you can tell, I have used paths to very effectively make it so that I'm not capable of spoilering. Because
I
apparently
see.
you can change the anatomy and biology of Children of Ymir using Power of the Founding Titan.
Yeah, and I get to kind of have plausible deniability because I don't have to be the
Exactly.
the manga expert on
Yep.
things, so I can just kind of be like, I'm pretty sure he's wrong about the Wal Maria thing, but I'm just not gonna say anything because
But we have a very special situation here, Caleb, because we've got 2 episodes to talk about, but also a couple of the episodes, well, both of the episodes really kind of do a lot for recontextualizing potentially where we might be seeing this show going in the future. So there's probably going to be some theorizing that needs to be fit in here.
yeah, guys.
How do we set the expectations for the readers of what they can expect
The
from
readers?
the viewers from this podcast?
Guys, if you don't like that, like, my theorizing takes up 40 to 70% of the discussion time usually, this is not going to be the podcast for you.
So you're saying that they should maybe order some takeout or something, and buckle down for the long haul.
Buckle down, yeah.
Yeah.
I have
I have seen the art of Dio or Zeke doing the Jotaro pose. Yes,
I
it is
have
wonderful.
I have a couple thoughts, and it's basically because the story
none of them
decided to
Mikasa.
have Xavier, which is that spelling of the name just hurts me. It has to be an X, Jacob.
Yep, yep.
It has to be.
Yep.
'Cause
Like
that-
X phonetically is KS. Like
yeah,
that's
exactly.
the
So why
sound
would
of it.
you?
Yeah.
But because of how he was introduced
Yep.
and what he kind of means symbolically with regards to the idea of the father that Zeke never had, and that ultimately in the end it was the despair of Xavier or Xavier or
Yeah.
whatever, that led to him basically coming up with his idea of, well, it'd be better if none of us were born into this world,
Yeah.
to directly put the idea against the thing that Carla championed from all the
Right.
way back with the Shadis backstory. That no,
Oh, just
he
look at
doesn't
his
need
smile.
to be
He was
special.
born into this world. Doesn't matter.
The only reason that he's special to me is because he was born into this world. That's all it takes. You don't have to have some grand destiny or, save everyone from a plague or something. You're special because you were born into this world. Every life is valuable because they were born into this world.
Unless their names are Armin and Mikasa.
Wait. So wait. What? What's
The
the
whole
bad
conversation-
joke you're trying to do
The
here?
whole conversation that happened.
They're literally told through paths that they're actually so special that you need to save them.
Maybe this is a bad timeline.
Yeah, I really could see it being a bad time.
It certainly seems that way.
yeah.
Like
It's possible.
Because when I got to this point in the manga, and I'm not bringing anything from the future into this, right? When I got to this point in the manga, I was thinking, okay, Aaron's pulling some plan, right?
yeah.
that has to be what it is. And then once it hit that episode, I was just like, or that chapter, but the chapter that episode 14 covered and everything, and oh man, I was just like, nope, don't care anymore. Gone too far. All right, let's burn the bitch. Armin, yes, you punch him in the face. You tell him how
Oh my
awful
God.
he is, and
Wow.
I want his head.
Jenny, thanks for the 5 gifted. Appreciate it. The Rex stuff with 100 bits. Levi has never lost a fight. Caleb, March 21, 2021. It's funny.
Yeah.
Also, can't wait to groan at all the articles that'll be screaming stuff like Attack on Titan advocates for genocide. Remember all the ones freaking out during the end of season 3? I do.
Yeah.
Those were extra funny.
Oh boy.
God, clickbait articles that
Yeah.
throw out political buzzwords are just
When villains say that things
like-
need to be done in storytelling, they should be taken as interpretations of the author of what
Right.
needs to be done in the world.
Yeah,
Yes, definitely.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not like they're specifically being set up as the people to be stopped.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
that
Aldrich
would
said-
be silly.
Zaldrix with 100 bits. Hey boys, going out to dinner with my wife for her birthday, so I can't watch today, but I'll be modding chat in about an hour. Hey, have a good time with your wife.
Yeah, have fun. Oh boy.
Appreciate it. Hydration reminder. Funnily enough, I actually forgot to bring water, so I
So you're
will
going to be rather
probably be
thirsty?
getting. Yeah, I will be channeling my thirst into the meaty episode.
We
that
might have
got
to
here.
literally, just because I have no idea how this is going to go with these 2 episodes.
Well,
but
I have actually a way that we can expedite a couple things. I don't want to actually go at things episode by episode. I want to just tackle it all holistically because there's
oh, okay, yeah, they
there's-
do kind of go together quite well.
Well, yes, but they're also just not focused on the same characters.
Right.
The
Yeah.
Zeke episode is so entirely localized within the Zeke just backstory stuff with a little bit at the end for, kind of Zeke's just realization that, no, I'm suffering, enough here. I'm
Right.
done. Just take me out of this.
It's showing that cycle of hatred running its course, and that for this person that has experienced all of this, the way out of it that they see is for just all the people that are getting discriminated against. Yeah, we should just die out.
Right.
That'd be better for everyone, right?
Okay, so first episode definitely was a fantastic episode, and it's hard to it's hard to almost like sing its praises because of how much I want to sing praises of the next episode.
Right.
You know, the episode after this was so clearly like the episode of these two. And yet I cannot gush enough about the Eren table conversation with Mikasa, Armin, and then Gabby as a passive observer the whole time.
Just do your best to pretend that you had to wait a week after this episode.
Right.
To just let's stew on it. And be like, well, what the hell does this all mean? And kind of in a way, we still do, because, like, you know, the episode that came after, that was Zeke backstory, right? We know that his plan is apparently to just, you know, neuter all of the Eldians, right? But... And apparently Eren seems to be agreeing with that, but we still don't really know what that means.
Look at chat talking about, you guys should drink some wine, some Zeke wine.
I mean, this might be the time that you see us just, you know, pull out our phones at around, you know, the 90-minute mark and be like, all right, let's order some food and, you know, drinks and stuff. And then, you know.
Yeah, I literally just ordered food for me, so I'm basically good there.
Oh, really?
No, I finished it.
Oh, okay.
I finished it. I ordered it an hour ago.
You bastard.
And got it 30 minutes ago. And finished it like 15 minutes ago. So, yeah.
Why is the wine always gone?
Right. So, Eren bringing up just hey, I just want to talk. Conflict isn't necessary to solve Eldia's problems. Right out the gate, basically saying, yeah.
That's a very good way to preface what he says next.
I come in peace. I don't need to fight with all of you here.
Yep.
However, the part that's not weird, but it's something that feels just painful to acknowledge, is that Eren is not sure about whether or not they'll be willing to stay peaceful with him.
Right. Hence why he actually talks to him.
Well, no, why he cut his hand.
Oh, sure.
It's not.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not because he's threatening them. It's because he's like, I'm really
hedging my bets.
I really do think there's a possibility that you guys tried to kill me,
Yep.
so I did this here to protect myself.
Right.
Now there is an inherent threat in it.
Oh, definitely.
The fact that this is very much exactly what he did to Reiner back then. But then he clarifies, like, yeah, we're just moving Hanji. No one's been killed or anything.
Yep.
And then Armin's just like, no, we're the ones that wanted to talk. Oh, man. If only they did get to actually talk.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing that is so brutal about what Eren says here is the fact that he's probably telling the truth, technically, you know, about the stuff that he's saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, or a lot of it anyways, right? It's the whole mixing the truth in to make the better lie. And because of that, yeah, I said that, okay, yeah, Eren resorted to violence because, you know, he couldn't disagree with what Armin said, but no, that wasn't what it was. Armin resorted to violence because he couldn't disagree with what Eren said, right? The idea that Mikasa might actually, who knows if what she's been doing this whole time has actually been because of her own free will or not, or whether it's just because she's actually a slave because of Path's shenanigans or Ackerman bloodline or whatever, you know, that whole thing is. And then the whole idea of, well, the stuff he said to Armin, he doesn't necessarily have a refute against that. So he decks him.
Yeah. Now, Eren is free. And he actually states it confidently. Do you believe him, Mr. Manga Reader? In this instance here, when you first experienced this, did you believe him?
Yes and no. You know, I was waiting. I was screaming at my computer screen for Armin. The things that Armin ended up saying. Right? You're not free. You think you're free, but
well, then why do you believe him?
Because it's the whole debate of if you think you're free, does that kind of make you free, right? Because so in this situation, right?
So
you could say that Eren is a slave to the idea of freedom and things like that, right? And the need to keep going forward, keep moving forward, Tatakai, all that stuff, right? But if he is choosing it, if he's truly choosing it,
choosing what?
This path, right?
Okay. Which we don't know exactly what it is.
Right. We get what it seems to be from the next episode, but even then we're like, clearly, you can't actually be meaning that, right? he seems to be. He believes he is.
Right,
Right.
but then
Aaron isn't exactly one to deceive
But then-
himself, especially not here.
right, but are you basing this on your disagreeing with this is on the idea that he is in some sort of self-deception?
Well, and there's that part of me that's like, yes, he's in self-deception, but then a lot of the reason for why I say that is because I'm emotionally compromised, shall we say, by the things that he's doing.
Right. And one of the things that this is bringing up is this idea of, I would just say a really cool thing about Aaron as a character is that I think he's always been free. People that operate just at any kind of just base human level are by their very nature free, by the nature that they're alive, that they were born into this
Sure.
world. Now, there are circumstances in their environment that make them less free.
Right.
But there is no gradient or like perfect kind of perspective that you could have in the real world at the very least to determine whether free will is even a thing.
Probably probably the best example that you could say for instances where free will truly that doesn't really exist, because you could say that even if someone is held in captivity, their mind can be free, you know? But then in situations like what we get with Zeke later, or what Aaron mentions about Armin with Bertolt's memories and everything, well, maybe some of you are in situations where your mind actually isn't free, right?
Yeah.
Zeke was a victim of his upbringing, right? There was nothing he really could have done about it, and Aaron mentions as much to Reiner when they have their conversation about Reiner, right?
Yeah.
Armin in his situation, is what he's doing of hanging out around Annie, is that truly his decision? It might not be.
Right. So one of the things that you can rule with this is the only time you can actually say anything emphatically about freedom is when it's being taken away.
Sure. Yeah, the value is changing.
Right. You cannot be more free than free.
Sure.
So the only gradient we have is when we're less than perfectly free.
Which brings up Kenny's whole thing of everyone's a slave to something.
Exactly. So Kenny's point is that the only time we can measure freedom is when it's less than 100%, meaning that everyone has a percentage of them that is a slave to something. Aaron, though, is a being at this point in the story. He definitely is a being at this point that's broken the rules in this regard. He even said to Hanji in kind of like a matter-of-fact, exact threat way, but very threatening kind of way of saying, you cannot stop me.
Right.
Basically
I
saying,
am free.
you cannot take away my freedom.
Right. You cannot take away my freedom.
I'm
and yet,
choosing to be here.
Well, but also at the same time, I don't have a choice.
What do you mean?
Like with the whole thing of you don't have a better solution.
But that's not Aaron. That's Hanji talk. He's talking to Hanji.
Right. So if he's saying you don't have a better solution, basically that or at least we would hope, if it's not just being taken in the strictest sense of the threat, that it is some form of an acknowledgement that he doesn't like what the option that he has chosen, and that if he felt he had another option, maybe he would pick it. Right? It's sort of that thing of him being underneath the stage when Willie's making his speech, and he's waiting, and then he hears I was born into this world, and he's like, oh wow, yeah, but then also all right, let's declare war on the island of Parody and the Eldians. We'll wipe them out. And he's like, okay, yeah, well, there you go.
Right. So if Aaron says, I am free here, and he says it confidently, and he doesn't look like he's trying to convince himself, the worst thing that could happen here is that he is in some form of self-deception where he's ignoring the parts that he is a slave to.
And that's what my hope is for the bit when he's talking to himself in the mirror and saying Tatakai, is that he's basically trying to trick himself into thinking that he is free and that he is choosing this when he's actually and it's the and that there is some part of him that basically rebels even against this situation, but because he sees this as being basically the best path forward, pun intended.
Gotcha. Okay, chat's saying that I was wrong, that he did say that to Hanji in the prison scene.
Oh yeah, I remember there being some frustration because of the way that Crunchyroll translated it.
No, they're just saying that was just straight up in the episode.
No, I know, but with the way that Crunchyroll translated it in the phrasing, it made it colored it a bit more than the way it was originally.
Right. I think what's coming down to here is that it seemed like to me that he knew Hanji had no better option. He wasn't asking as if she could actually provide him with anything new. It was rhetorical.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But even in a rhetorical statement, it's saying, I know you don't, but if you did, I would take it, but I know you don't, so get out of my way.
Right.
You know, it's
right.
yeah.
So it's in some ways saying that he's not like actually like needing anything from Hanji.
Right.
In some ways, again,
It's a very proud statement.
right, but it's also
Hence the rhetoric.
right, but hence also the idea that he's not a regular human anymore. He's basically broken beyond the barriers of all things and tapped into paths and has no, issues with any of that stuff. So hence the confidence. So him coming in here with this I am free thing feels just alien, doesn't it? Like it just makes him feel like he's
Yeah.
he's so distant.
Well,
then.
it's he's basically saying I've figured it out, it seems.
yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
Because him being a slave to freedom, in some ways you could say that would be the best thing to be a slave to, right?
Maybe.
And if we were to pin down Eren feeling that he's a slave to something, that with Kenny's whole statement and whatnot, that's probably what it would be, right? From what we can see right now, is that Eren is a slave to the idea of freedom, right? And he won't settle for anything less, and as a result of that dictates certain actions, especially for someone like him who is in a position of great power.
Yeah, that's where I get a little bit worried for Eren in general, is that his actions seem to point at that his obsession with freedom in this case means that he has to have a limited idea of then whose freedom is more valuable than others.
Right,
and that's where things get wonky. That's why I kind of laugh at the idea of fighting for freedom with his tatakai thing.
Yeah.
That's more of the keep moving forward kind of thing to wipe out my enemies.
Don't let yourself get stagnant so that your enemies take away your freedom.
Right, but that's nothing new. That's no great answer or truth. That's just humanity.
That's just the immediate solution.
That's just the idea of, oh no, these people are going to kill me. I'll kill them before they kill us.
Right.
Whoa.
And
revolutionary
so the cycle continues.
Philosophy there. So that's where I think, if anything, he is looking at something that is different than just that. It's the fight thing is more about him resolving to do whatever it is he's deciding to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I am actually really surprised that Mikasa doubts him here. This is actually a really cool, I would say,
example of her standing up to him in a way.
Example of her not being just a slave, if anything, to his will, if that makes sense, is that she's kind of being like, no.
Ooh.
I really think that you're being manipulated here because of the things that you did in Liberio.
Right.
Like, you have to be.
Yeah. So if Eren is a slave to the idea of freedom, then Mikasa is a slave not to Eren, but to the idea of Eren, of the boy that basically saved her and pulled her out of that horrible situation, right? And that's what she's sort of, like, shaped her life around. And that's probably why her and Eren have never been able to really connect very well, because she's not actually thinking about him, she's thinking more about the role that he played in her life.
The idea of Eren.
So when things like this happen, of course she says immediately, no, you're being manipulated, because that's not the you I believe in, right? And in a lot of ways, even what Eren does is cruel in this scene, but in a lot of ways, the idea of breaking down the illusion that is the person that he is would in other instances potentially be a kindness, right? Because it's basically the helping of the person grow up and realizing you don't need to have this idyllic version like in your head of me. I am a person, right?
Yeah, I like it. So you wouldn't get kids and innocents involved even if they were enemies. Aaron's just kind of looking at her just like disappointed and tired and sad almost.
Yep.
Plus, I know you care about us more than anyone. And he just has this look of like...
1,000 yard stare. Jaded
well,
is an
yeah.
understatement,
And this was something as interesting as she's starting to bring up the idea that, well, you gave me this scarf, and he brings up that they need to keep their hands on the table, which I'm kind of shocked that was something that he brought up so early.
Oh yeah,
because what it feels weird like here is that he feels like he's scared of them. Like, I don't know. It just
like, I don't want them to take away my freedom in this situation.
Well, I mean, sure, but like, why would he be scared of them?
Yeah.
He hasn't done anything yet that would make them want to do anything to him.
Right. They wanted to talk to him too.
Yeah, it almost feels like he's already doing things acausally. like he's already doing things with the future just in mind, just in general, where he's like, oh, yeah, keep your hands on the table because I'm going to say things that are going to get you to react like certain ways. And
sure.
Yeah.
In some way, if he's truly a slave to freedom, and that is absolutely his number one priority, then he wouldn't really care what they thought of him.
Right.
If anything, like the fact with Mikasa, for instance, right? If he was really telling the truth, maybe not about the fact that he always hated her, but that he saw her as not being free, then maybe that would be the reason for why he did this, is that if at this point he's totally cold. Yeah. And it's I want to make it so that you also are free in the same way that I am free, and then we can live our own free lives kind of a thing. Before I imprison you and all that stuff, but whatever.
Right.
Maybe that could be a reasoning for it.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I also like the idea that maybe he said all of these things to them specifically because he didn't want them to actually be able to say the things that they wanted to say, because maybe it would have an effect on him. Because when you look at Eren, everything about him communicates that there is no emotion behind those eyes, right? And we don't know why he's like that.
I thought originally it was because of this.
Sure.
I spoke with Zeke and Liberia, brother to brother. The baseball was the confirmation, and then we got the backstory bit there, and while they barely, actually seemed to talk at all, according to the flashback, I really thought that at that point they used the Founding Titan's power, and they basically enacted the stepping stones for their plan.
Sure.
And, if they had done that, then all of this afterwards is just basically just all right, we'll just be ready.
So, trippy thought.
Yeah.
Theoretically, they could have, and that was just a previous iteration.
Hey, I mean,
and then now they don't need to,
you're right. That's very true.
It's possible.
It's very true. I actually wonder though if that's something that almost, if it doesn't really work like that though. Because I've gotten roasted so much in our Discord for hey Caleb, that's not how paths work.
Well,
and I have to go back and rewatch the actual thing to be like, okay, hold on. What are the things that are actually involved in paths?
Right.
And it's the idea of basically memories being manipulated.
Right. And the main limitation that we have on paths, specifically with regards to the Founding Titan, is that memories. How is it? That basically, in the same way that Eren had the Founding Titan for a long time, but he didn't actually have clear reception of the memories that were
bleeding
through, right?
Frida just showed up randomly one time.
Yeah, exactly, right. That is a thing that still happens, but when you send the D-mail back, there's not perfect reception, right? And that's why it's not. That's why the story's still interesting, right? Because otherwise, once you bring time travel into the mix, if you don't have some severe limitations on it, all of a sudden it's like, well, there's no reason for there to be any complications in the story unless this is just the first iteration. Which in that case, why are you telling the story of the first iteration? But
yeah. So we end up getting that connected to the backstory in the later the second episode.
Yep.
That we got today. Yesterday. Another little setup thing. Zeke knows more about Titans than even Marley does, basically setting up how Xavier basically brought all of his info that he knew about Titans over to Zeke over the course of that time.
Of course, it was a Steins Gate reference.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
It's targeting.
This is where Aaron starts to, I would say, pull what I would call the Lelouch tactic. And this is where I'm going to go a bit theory crafting here. Aaron kind of brings up the idea that he is free.
Don't look at chat for a second.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So Aaron starts to bring up what I would call the Lelouch tactic. Light to big spoilers with regards to Code Geass Season 2 here, guys. So I am sorry. It's an anime from 2007, so I'm sorry. I'm going to be spoiling it a little bit here.
The ending?
No, not the ending. Not the ending.
Right.
Just the character being awful. With regards to their morals.
Yes.
The main character from Code Geass, there's this character who is extremely manipulative. And I mean extremely manipulative. Aaron is not Lelouch.
No.
Character-wise, not at all. Like, not even in the slightest bit.
Right.
But one of the things that Lelouch would do quite a lot when he was enacting his plans was he would push people into realizing him more as an enemy so that they would react in a predictable manner.
Right. Treated people like chess pieces, and it was great.
Yeah, he treated people like chess pieces, exactly. And one of the things that Lelouch had was a power that allowed him to do this a little bit more easily. Aaron definitely has a power that could help in that regard, but it is not directly connected to that necessarily. But how does he know that Armin has been visiting Annie? How?
He might have known about it before he left.
I would say that that's probably the best bet, is that Armin was doing this 4 years ago. You know, like after he had gotten the Colossal Titan. But it's because it's twice he says, "So you still visiting Annie?"
Right, like it was a long time ago, but I'm guessing that you still are. Yeah,
exactly. But he basically says, "I'm free. You both are not."
Which is very petty if you think about it. Like
it is very petty,
like,
because
he might have crazy perspective or whatever, depending on how everything went and whatnot. But it's basically the thing of saying, my way of looking at life is correct, and all of you are wrong.
Right. But a couple of the things that Aaron says here, I feel like
it's actionable.
Well, yes, but it betrays the idea that he does have some kind of special perspective. Because just knowing that Armin is still interacting with Annie, sure, logical assumption, I would say.
Yeah.
But then he says, if memories are what
friend,
shape people, a part of you is Bertolt now. That's I would say that's almost too far.
Unless he's experienced it, kind of a thing.
Well, I would say he's definitely experienced that.
Sure.
Like,
I mean,
what he's
he
experienced.
definitely has. That's been the whole show, right?
Yeah,
with the stuff
exactly.
with his dad, with the stuff with Historia's sister or whatever. Like that's very much been a thing.
That's very much been a thing. So I feel like Aaron at this point is so distant because he's not acting like Aaron. He's acting like the amalgamation of every founding Titan that's ever come before him.
And yet we know that there is a mechanical reason for why he's not that.
Exactly.
Because he doesn't have royal blood, so he's got the fuzzy D-males, right? The data's corrupted.
That's the only reasonable reason as to why he should be able to say with confidence that he is free.
But he does have 3 Titans.
No, I know.
Yeah.
So there is complications in there. But we know that one of the big motifs with the founding Titan is that they were all a slave to the first king's will because of the vow to renounce war.
Yeah.
But Aaron is literally the exception to that rule.
Yep.
So
and that's why the story's about him, probably.
Right. So therefore, he is free.
Yeah.
But why would he say that in that way unless he had experienced it?
Well, or another way of thinking about it is if he's going to tell Armin, who technically is in the same situation as him, but less, right? That you are not your own person because a part of you is being affected by Bertolt, even though Bertolt isn't the founding Titan, even though Armin doesn't have royal blood, right?
But then,
that's just one
Titan.
Titan.
How can Aaron be free?
Right, exactly. Aaron has 3 times the Titans,
Yeah.
and 2 of them, he's had for over twice as long as Armin.
Right.
You think that this
Yeah.
isn't having an effect on you, and that's why. I mean, not this is why, but this is an example of one of the reasons why I've always wanted since the beginning of Attack on Titan for it to end in a conversation. Like
Yeah.
the hope that maybe that will be what's happening here, and then everyone can,
Yeah.
snap him out of it somehow.
Right. So in this case here, Eren is, I would say, incapable of making these statements with confidence and truth unless it comes down to literally the idea of the founding Titan. And that it has almost nothing to do with any of that because, well, one of the things that I've been wondering specifically got kind of confirmed in the next episode, which is something that will go absolutely bonkers with.
Of Xaver going through the previous memories of
Yeah.
yeah.
How did Xaver find out anything about the previous founding Titans?
Weed meditation?
We're gonna get into that.
Have you ever tried DMT?
Right. All I'll say is that if we assume it just logically, Eren is either lying, telling the truth,
Yeah.
some
combination
of the two, or he's deceiving himself. Those are the
Sure,
four.
yeah,
Those are
yeah.
the four options.
Right, he could be lying to them, or he could be lying to himself, or both.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So let's go with the he's telling the truth bit for the I am free. The only way he can actually say that in a way that means anything is relating to the founding Titan.
Sure. Okay.
If he's lying, then his statement has no power. It has nothing.
And if anything,
If anything, it's probably a mix of the truth and a lie.
Well, and so assuming that he's not lying to himself, the reason why he would tell this to them and tell this to them first is either because he's trying to deceive them in some way, which doesn't seem like that. That doesn't
Pointless.
seem. Yeah, that seems kind of pointless.
Yep.
It's sort of silly.
Yeah.
Is that he probably believes it, and he has fairly good reason to support his beliefs.
Sure.
And maybe he is then wanting to share that with them, right? It's
Yes.
the Armin, you didn't know about the fact that you could be, like altered or influenced so much by Bertholdt's memories. I'm telling you now. I'm someone who has 3 Titans. I've had them for longer than you.
Yeah.
Here you go. That's new information.
Heads up.
You've got a good head on your shoulders. I mean, this is putting a lot of nice filters on what Eren's saying, right? But if we were to look at it in the best possible light, that he's basically saying, "Hey, maybe now you have the tools to actually handle this situation."
Right. But I would say the most kind of basic, easy answer for this is that this is something that is just simple information that he's passing along to Armin to get a response from him.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And regardless of whether or not it's Armin just accepting that,
Making it easier to manipulate him, kind of a thing.
it is something that worked so well at unsettling Armin.
And that's why, and I don't know, maybe I'm silly to hold to this, because I really want the relationship between these 3 characters to last throughout the show, right?
I mean,
whether or not it happens, that's what I want to happen. But anytime you basically are trying to specifically manipulate someone into doing something, it's because you wouldn't be able to do it without using underhanded tactics, usually, right? There's some aspect of the effect that you'd be getting that you would lose out on otherwise. And what my hope is, even though there's no evidence to suggest this really, is that the reason why Eren went on such the offensive and everything and put them on their back foot and antagonizing them is because maybe if they were actually allowed to speak their minds with him in this room alone with no interruptions, that resolve that he built up before, in front of the mirror of Tatakai would falter.
Yeah, but we can't know.
We can't know.
So with what we can know, though, is that he is antagonizing them. Regardless of what his intent is, the result is that they get antagonistic towards him because of the words that he's saying here.
Right. And
from all the things that he says have an element of truth to them.
Right. And yet if they're putting aside that overly optimistic maybe view that I have on it, I have trouble seeing what his intent is, what the point of saying all these things
Yeah.
are in these antagonistic ways, other than to just be petty.
Right,
Which,
right. Don't
you know-
look at it that way then. Don't look for his intent. Look for the actual elements of what he's saying, because he could choose to say
Oh,
anything
yeah,
here.
totally.
No,
Uh-huh.
but that's what I'm saying is that's what we can actually analyze on together here, because then he just shifts completely into another thing that just feels again. How would he know this?
Right. Maybe the best explanation we could probably have is that Zeke found out about it from Xaver's book and then told Aaron.
Zeke found out about this from Xaver and passed it on to Aaron.
Yeah, by the way, that Ackerman...
What's the deal with the Ackermans?
They scare the shit out of me, you know?
Yeah. I think that there's more stuff that happened between Zeke and Aaron that just we haven't seen yet.
Oh, yeah.
But that this was something that feels like, again, it feels a little bit like that season 3 exposition where they're like, hey, let's get some very choice words in here with how they exposit the Ackermans protect Eldia's king, because that intentionally designed that focuses it to where it can't be interpreted in other ways.
Uh-huh.
Because in the very next episode, we get the Xaver thing of the founding Titan could rewrite the biology of Eldians.
Right, and if there were...
Which is like,
if there were to
this
be-
is just the follow-up line on the Ackermans were intentionally designed to protect Eldia's king.
Exactly, because how the hell would the Ackermans have come about? They shouldn't exist, right?
Yeah, they kind of are one of those, how do I say this?
Yes, Isayama definitely made some things up as he went along.
Right,
you know?
they're that armor serum thing from season 3.
Right, exactly,
they're-
yes.
It's one of those things where I'm like, I just
doesn't-
kind of accept it and move on.
Little things that when you match them up, it's like, wait, that one little part there of the puzzle doesn't
right.
quite fit.
Like
you know,
we're at the end of the series basically, and we're still having to explain what the Ackerman kind of situation really is.
Yep.
There's a lot that we could have inferred based on just general, knowledge and stuff. One of the ideas is that the founding Titan's power is not absolute, so there were just people that were accidentally exempt from the abilities of the founding Titan. But then this is just that exposition where no, it was no accident, intentionally and designed. Intentionally means that the Ackermans were not a mistake.
Right.
The Ackermans were someone chose for the Ackermans to be created, designed, fashioned. There are
not just like, oh, we get a certain select group of people and then train them or whatever, or do things like that. It's like no. It feels a bit more specific. I will say that one of the big things that in general with the adaptation from Attack on Titan manga to anime that is cut out is usually bits of exposition. It's usually trimmed down a bit. I'm not going to go into what it is because it could be potentially brought up in future episodes, and it's not super relevant right now. But if you ever want to get more into, like, if things of the exposition feel like they're kind of like, just suddenly like we're talking about this kind of a thing.
Thankfully, they've fixed the issues from Erwin's dad saying
It must be memory manipulation.
Yeah, saying the everyone was manipulated memory wise.
It's like, well, where was the precedent that was set for this to know that
exactly
that supernatural things like that could happen?
Yeah,
I mean, I
exactly.
suppose Titans exist, but yeah.
Oh, Jenny, thanks again for the 5 gifted.
Yes,
Appreciate
thank you.
it. But yeah, it's one of those things where that was probably the most egregious case of exposition like that. But thankfully, this is the kind of stuff where we've had already plenty of exposition on the Ackermans.
Oh, yeah.
Kenny went into that whole stuff with the Ackermans quite a bit there. So it's not something where this is coming out of the blue. It just feels like the word choice was basically something
In this
where...
specific scene, it's like, where did he go there right now? But
Right. And
why are we expositing this now?
Right, why are we exposing this right now? It's just one of those things where I knew immediately, oh, that's a couple questions that I always had about the Ackermans that they just said, you don't need to worry about those anymore. There it is, all clear for you in black and white. Our god protagonist is come in to say the things that he heard from Big Bro Zeke.
Big monkey.
Big monkey.
Okay, yeah, that's a great way
stuff
to
here.
sort of sum it up, Halfjack. Yeah, the Ackermans kind of feel like the Royal Guard, where it's like, okay, we need to have like, an elite team and all that.
Right. Again,
Yeah.
though, Yeah. Anyway.
Who knows?
Anyway.
Maybe the same thing happened to that one guard of Willie's that was like, ridiculously
I
tall.
want to have some rule of cool, badass characters that make the Titans shit themselves. So I want Levi and Mikasa.
I mean, you think
to be
that
able to
hasn't
do
been happening?
Beyblade shit? No, that's my point. Is that's what Isayama's thinking. He's like, I need people that can do cool Spider-Man shit, but I need the people that make the cool Spider-Man shit stuff look easy.
Right. Like, and that's one of the things
And
that
that's
I love.
why Levi and Mikasa exist, you
Right,
know?
and I love that so much about Mikasa and Levi as characters and sort of the pieces that
Yeah.
they represent in the show,
Right.
because I will tell you, it is very difficult to have hyper competent characters be on the side of the protagonists and not have all the problems just be solved
So
easily,
true.
right? It is very very difficult, right? And we've joked about it in the case of like Airbender, where you have the character like Toph that's built up to be this super badass and whatnot, but then anytime there's anything important happening, she's just moved somewhere else, right?
It's true.
Where she can solve some problem or be somewhere else or whatever, because if she was in the place where things that were the most important were going on, they would be resolved in a cinch.
Yep.
You can't just do, I move the ground underneath you. You should never do that, but doing it more than once, it really gets obvious.
There are ways in which you can write those problems out of the way so that you don't have to deal with that.
Right.
And this show often does that by basically giving Mikasa fights that we know she's going to win.
Right.
So that she can win them in spectacular fashion. And then for other fights where it's like, this one isn't that, kind of a situation there. We're going to have something like,
It's not about a fight here.
Right. I'm talking about in previous stuff. Previous stuff. So, the attack on Mikasa. So we had attack on Armin, we have attack on Titan, now we have attack on Mikasa. Mikasa, this broke my heart.
Yeah,
This
I know.
broke my heart.
I know. And you're not even an Aramika shipper. Like,
Nope.
yeah.
I could care less about 90% of the ships in Attack on Titan.
After this chapter, I was basically Mikasa from the end of season 2 of like, there is no room or, there's no time or room in my heart to spare. Oh man, I became a cold bastard after this.
Yeah, and yes, exactly. 50 minutes in, this was the biggest thing I wanted to talk about this episode.
Totally.
I really loved the stuff that happened afterwards with Shadis and Flock, but then also the Zeke stuff with Levi.
The Zeke thing, I feel like, is a lot more direct in a way to talk about it.
Yeah,
because,
very much so.
Because it's done so excellently in the episode, and they spend the whole episode on it, that it's like it's all there. You can you can sort of highlight things and whatnot, but there's not too much to actually talk about.
But
this
breaks my heart, because Mikasa's story was one that felt like a really simple, sad but beautiful look at what the world of Attack on Titan was like. Is that there are monsters that come in, break down the walls of your security, and take away the things that you love, the people that you love. And there's nothing you can do about it except fight. Now, when it's time to fight...
sometimes you can't.
Except when it's time to fight, sometimes you're not capable of it.
Right.
So the idea that Eren basically came to the core of who she is in this conversation and basically said, I'm going to rip all that out from under you. That was something that you only were capable of doing because I ordered you to do it.
Yeah. Here's the thing, and I'm not even wearing the shirt for it, but in this situation, so 1, this wasn't a fight. 2, Eren wasn't fighting Mikasa. He was fighting that little girl from the cabin. That's how messed up this was.
Yeah.
Right?
You can just see it in her face.
You can see it in her face, right? And the community can meme over the and all that stuff from the manga, right?
What's that?
In the manga, at the part where it shows her starting to tear up, it just was like capital MMGH, and so people were always wondering how it was going to be done in the anime, and there's a wonderful post of someone just going on and on about it, but
okay.
In this situation, this is not something where Mikasa can go all Levi and kill 30 Titans, then equip Thunder Spears, chase down Zeke, kick his ass, take him back to the place, put a Thunder Spear in him, wire it to the Thunder Spear fuse to his neck and all that stuff. She can't do that. And Eren knows she can't do that, right? He knows that this is the one place where she's weak, that she hasn't actually been able to grow past that. And yeah, maybe that part of it, of her, has frustrated him and everything. But you know what? He's going to push on it. And not just push gently. He, takes a hammer to it. in a way that only he can.
Yeah. Yeah.
As far as conversations aside of whether or not Eren is the bad guy, right? Does he have some plan that he's going, like, is this all part of some master scheme? Is this
Or is this all just going to end out better, just in general?
Right,
for humanity.
For humanity, right? Mm-hmm. Is it worth this kind of cost? What kind of a person is he now? Even if it's something where it does play out in the end, we can hope, right? Because this is the show. Hopefully it's not just the next iteration. Maybe it'll be better.
Yeah.
But
yeah, something gets solved here. But I would say that one of the things that he's willing to sacrifice is his friends here. And I think that's kind of the point, was that this scene was him basically realizing that he's resolved to the point that he's willing to sacrifice them. Now, this is the part that hurts, is I don't think he's actually willing to kill them.
And that's why I locked him up.
That's why not only he locked them up, but that's why he was scared of them.
Sure, yeah.
Is that he's like, hands on the table. Because if we fight, I might have to kill you.
And in the same way that I can hurt you in ways that and this is what I'm hoping for, is that he's just thinking in the same way that I can hurt you in ways that you can't defend against, right?
Yeah.
There are some techniques in the Force against which
Well,
there's no defense.
They also won't rile them up to fight. They'll, if anything, kind of rile up their spirit, but they won't make them physically fight back. And which is funny because then Armin does actually.
Yeah.
Which I thought was rather kind of poignant, because Armin is the one that's be the last to throw hands.
Right. If anything, maybe there's some way that this is like Eren's veiled way of doing Bertolt's thing of, you think anyone wants to do this? Come find us. Save me from Zeke. I don't know. And that doesn't really make sense considering that Eren has is the one with the founding titan and everything. But
can we bring up the Ackerman thing again?
Oh yeah.
So Eren kind of exposits again about how, okay, so you remember all those headaches, Mikasa? Mm-hmm. Why am I remembering this now? Or those moments, he says, are apparently when the old self resists being forced to protect their host.
Right.
Wait, what? There's two things I have of a problem with this statement here. Mm-hmm. Old self?
Yeah, that almost feels like a mistranslation.
No, that just feels weird.
Yeah, it's the connotation of the true self, right? The part of her that wouldn't be influenced by, the whatever the Ackerman thing is that would make her protect the king or founding titan or whatever.
So what this reminds me of is, remember when Annie had her roar, just help, eat me, and all the titans come in and they devour her basically.
Right.
This feels like that kind of a thing where a king, a founding titan, if you will, basically gives the order of save me, and in that moment, the Ackermans basically get the go fight mode, do the thing, smash the floorboards, grip the knife.
Oh right, yeah. Before she awoken to her Ackerman instincts, right? So the idea that there was some catalyzing moment when we get the lightning in the show going over her brain and everything, where that kind of triggered her to fight and everything, because before then she was a sort of weak, helpless child, right? And then at this point when he was saying Tatakai.
Okay, guys. Let me bring back this up, because I know what you're meaning about the idea of the powers awakening. Like he says Ackermans with awakened powers apparently get sudden headaches.
Right.
But this is the part that feels weird here. If there would be this idea that it gets awakened, you don't unawaken after you've awakened. That's completely antithetical to the idea of being awakened. So I thought this was something where it's no, there's the awakening where you're now oh, I'm an Ackerman, I've been awakened. Mikasa's moment was when her brain had the little electricity and it went all over her body, and she was like, fight, and it became easy for her to do this. Right. I get that. That was the point when she awakened. But her headaches happen long after that, basically saying that in this
some part of
here,
the pre-awakening self
stays. It remains.
Right.
Why? That is such a weird thing if the Ackermans were intentionally designed
I feel like the idea of
That feels like memory manipulation.
well, okay, possibly, but I feel like, but we know that the Ackermans can't have their memories manipulated.
But that's
It feels more like it's a poetic way of saying it rather than actually any kind of like literal thing. You know, it's the idea that it's an imperfect manipulation, right? You know.
Okay. So let's run with that.
Like there are plenty of times when like I myself will get stressed out even to the point of headaches because there's something that I feel I should do that I don't actually want to do, or there's something that I want to do that I don't have the mental fortitude to do, right? And
yeah, guys, I just wanted to mention something in chat. I think I get what y'all in chat are trying to say. Mikasa's backstory is one of the earliest things in Aaron's life that we have in the story. Like, from Aaron being a conscious human being and not a baby in Carla's arms, that all happened before season 1, episode 1.
Sure.
So every headache that Mikasa has is after that, is post that point. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. Just because something is intelligently designed doesn't mean it doesn't have flaws. Cars and tools break down all the time. Yeah. And that's kind of a scary thing to think of Mikasa as a tool, right? But then at the same time, in a similar situation to the thing with Armin,
right,
if we were to try and take some positive thing out of what Aaron says here, if he tells her that when you get those headaches, that's the symptom that there's internal conflict as a result of your Ackerman nature, theoretically that could be helpful because again it's saying
this is where you
have instincts that you don't understand. This is how they manifest, and then do with that what you will, right? And then if she decides that she wants to completely live in tune with her instincts, or if she wants to resist her instincts, then she is more capable of doing so. And that literally happens like 10 seconds later when Armin goes to punch Eren, and then she pins him to the table, right? But then she does end up stopping. She lets him go, right? And then Armin continues and punches Eren.
Right. And this is the part that just feels really just hurtful here, because this is him saying this is how it happened. Was that the founding titan of yesteryear, whenever, made your entire bloodline forget who they were and live only to protect.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, that is a good point. This does feel kind of like Eren's perspective of Mikasa rather than his perspective on Ackerman's, because Levi, I mean, yeah, he joined up with Erwin and everybody, but he wasn't protecting people in his old life. Kenny certainly wasn't. I mean, he was kind of protecting Uri, but yeah. Actually, maybe that would work.
That actually does. Sense,
he did become the personal enforcer of the founding titan.
Yeah, and Levi never really interacted with.
Oh yeah,
that. But they do have some stuff with Levi where there's moments where he's like, "I've been helping this kid out all this time."
Yeah, that's true. That's true, because if it isn't necessarily the king, but it's actually the founding titan, Kenny had that interaction with them, and then it makes sense that even after the person would be dead, he would still have those memories of them. And then in the case of Eren, he wasn't the founding titan at that point. That's actually curious. Wait, would that be a paths thing?
I don't know. But yeah. This conversation then leading up to the bit where then he goes, "Oh, in other words, you all are slaves."
Right.
And you know who I hate more than anyone? Like, this is where he's basically doing this to be intentionally antagonistic. I hate anyone who isn't free, those who aren't free, just like livestock.
Yeah.
Calling back all the way to episode 1. But this is where I think he's pushing too hard. Eren, you're starting to get a little bit too simple. You know when the bad guy kind of has those lines?
That reductionist kind of philosophy?
Yeah, where they start dehumanizing someone to the point where you're like, you're just going to actually make the human part of them rise up and fight back.
Anyone could take a reductionist philosophy on things and get to horrible ends, but that's because it's reductionist. It's not a good way to go. You say, okay, people kill people, so therefore we should just kill all the people, right?
Yeah.
You know, that way no more people will be killed. It's like, what the fuck are you saying?
But I think he said this specifically because he knew that Mikasa would protect him here. Because it's Armin is the one that fights back.
Well, and in a lot of ways, that makes it the perfect way to demonstrate to Mikasa, this actually is a real thing.
This is the truth.
This is a harsh truth, and here it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and he keeps going because he's not really getting the reaction.
But we
yet.
watched Thor Ragnarok recently. Aaron, let's not use the term slave. Let's use prisoners with jobs.
Prisoners with jobs.
You know?
Jesus.
Let's.
And then Mikasa, I've hated you. Like her whole world is shattering right here. Like,
all right, so he's gonna die. Everybody see in the next 10 seconds.
Y'all, the just
Bring an ambulance,
the
but
pain,
not for me.
The pain at this point.
Like, look at that face.
Like,
look at that face.
Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, that line shows that Aaron has been BSing the whole time. I hope so, because that's blatantly not true, right?
Blatantly untrue.
And the weird thing about this is that I would believe it if Aaron said this in a heated argument, right? And granted, they did say at the beginning, you must be being manipulated, kind of implying that he's not free and freedom is his thing, right? So maybe that would rile him up, but he doesn't seem emotionally compromised right here, or at least not like that. He specifically wanted this conversation. He came to this location to talk to them, as well as take them prisoner, probably. But and then he's like, "Let's talk." And by the way, that means me monologuing, which means I've probably had a while to think about this. I've been wanting to say this for a good amount of time.
A long time.
And you say something like that, that's such an exaggeration. Like I believe that there's a part of this that's true.
Yeah,
right?
I said it in the reaction as, Mikasa, I've resented you.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing of Mikasa's gorilla strength, where she carries like 6 times the wood kindling than he does.
Yeah.
Mikasa's the one that the bullies are actually scared of.
Mikasa does the ODM gear training perfectly the first time when Aaron has all the trouble and stuff and bangs his head on the ground and has Shadis tell him that, you should become a janitor to clean up your shit performance.
Mikasa doesn't really connect with Aaron as a person and kind of has worshipped him, meaning that he might have missed out on being able to truly connect with her as a kid.
And in a lot of ways, the very fact that,
that's the part that maybe where this is really sad, is that he maybe has just hated the fact that he never really got to know Mikasa that well because of their kind of forced role thing that Mikasa, prescribed to him.
I'm going to say something that I'm not sure I entirely believe, but it's a thought that popped into my head, and I want to follow the paths to the coordinate to see where it goes.
Yes, let's see.
So, and I'll preface this with first season of Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Favorite part of it by far was episode 6 and 7. I loved it, right?
Season 1?
Yeah, exactly. I loved Attack on Titan. Mikasa was, goddammit, my favorite character. I was a much younger person at the time, and my tastes were a bit simpler, shall we say, right?
Hey, but this world is cruel and also very beautiful.
Exactly. I loved the poetry of those episodes. I still love them. Yep, it's excellent.
The music.
I would have been absolutely happy if Mikasa had become the main character of Attack on Titan. There was a long time where I actually wished that had happened.
Yeah, it would have been 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks? 3 or 4 weeks of Attack on Titan if you were watching it week to week at that time?
No, I watched one episode and then dropped it and then just binged the whole rest of the season
in one sitting.
At the college I was going to, just sitting in the library with my laptop next to an outlet.
That's right. But because I watched I think up to episode 6.
Gotcha.
When it was live, and then I watched it week to week. Because everyone freaked out about episode 5.
Okay.
Or whenever Aaron died,
Gotcha.
That was when it broke the internet.
To you.
No. I think if anything, you
sure
told me about it with episode 1. You watched episode 1 before I did. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I did not watch it airing. I watched I watched episode 1. So
okay, well that has nothing to do with this.
Here,
so
here,
keep going
here,
with
there.
Your theory.
But so that was my favorite part of Attack on Titan. Then I read the manga, and the manga went up to the end of what is now season 2, right?
Okay, gotcha.
And that part with the Titans and everything, and the thank you for wrapping the scarf around me, and then Aaron apparently controls the Titans. That became my new favorite part of Attack on Titan.
It was one of my favorite parts,
love
too.
Love it so much. I still think that seems so good, right? What if the reason why Aaron did the thing that made me so mad, as an Aaron Mika shipper, of standing up and turning away and basically saying, I'll wrap it around you as much as you want?
Right.
What if that wasn't actually, what if it was as a result of the things that Mikasa was doing? Where basically, because she came to him as saying, thank you for wrapping this scarf around me, thank you for basically the things that you have done, thank you for the because she's trying to build him up in this moment, right? It's after Hannes has died and everything, and,
he's being
and
literally
he's
eaten in the blood.
screaming, laughing, crying, sobbing. You know, it's pure
Yuki
despair,
Kaji.
right? Yuki Kaji at his finest, shredding his vocal cords for our pleasure,
For us,
right?
yeah.
She kind of ignores what he's feeling in that moment to basically say, here's the version of you that I see, and I'm going to try and supersede that onto you because I believe you can be more than how you feel right now. And in a lot of ways that is incredibly encouraging, right? Because it's saying, hey, I know this is how it seems, but let me show you what it looks like from my perspective, right? And sometimes a different perspective is all it takes to get us out of despair, right? But what if that is an example of the reason why Mikasa can never have that good ending, that deep connection with Eren that she wants, whatever
Jacob,
form it
Aramika
takes.
shipper. Good ending.
Yeah. You know, is because of things like that, right?
Okay.
Because
I see it.
Because
I see it.
she still goes back to the you wrapped this scarf around me, not the 5 years or whatever or 6 years that we hung out together and were family since then.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
is actually
like-
a really good point.
Like she doesn't talk about any of that
She's
stuff.
obsessed about the original moment,
Right.
not the actual time that they spent
Even
together
now,
as kids. Yeah.
10 years later, I
10
think it works out
years.
exactly 10 years because it was a year before the start of the show and then 5 years after and then 4 years. So 10 years after,
Yeah.
right? After that moment, she still goes straight back to that from when they aren't even talking about it, right? Because that's the thing that's always been at the forefront of her mind. And I love this scene for what it does in confronting Mikasa with the way that her character is very one note, you know?
Yeah.
She is
She's a guardian type character.
she is a guardian type character, right?
Yeah,
and
it's very, very
I
simple
love
and
it, right?
straightforward,
It's the I am a big fan of the
Annie.
well,
And there's like, holy shit, is this happening?
you know, but like it's the Brienne of Tarth and the Beauty and the Beast kind of a thing where it's it's the lady is the
okay.
beast and she's badass and awesome and she's protective and everything and maybe a bit simple, but whatever, right? But this is kind of that moment where all of a sudden she truly hits rock bottom there and kind of pushes her and throws her down there, right?
Yeah.
But then if there were to be any moment where then maybe she can grow, like me thinking as an audience, like viewer, right? If I were to want to see more awesome, good character development happen from Mikasa in a similar situation to what happened in episode 6, that was an example of her coming to the end of herself, right? Where her entire world was shattered and she had to reform herself into something different, right? Something that could survive it. In this situation, this is another one of those moments. Her whole world that she has known up till now is gone. It's broken. And it was broken in the most cruel way. But the world is also not just cruel, but it's very beautiful.
Yeah.
And there is still going to be the part 2 of the season kind of a thing, right? So hopefully this can go somewhere good. But for now, Armin, beat the shit out of that dickweed.
Okay, what I'm I loved so much about this scene was that I just was kind of in a daze watching it.
Right, because it's just emotionally beaten up. It's just like, what's happening?
Like,
Stop.
I feel like I was Gabby in this scene, just like I'm bruised and bloodied, and I'm just like, what?
What's going on?
What's happening? Like, what is going on here? Like, the fact that Armin basically went feral and just leapt over
We knew
the
he
table.
was best boy.
And is
I mean,
like,
Reiner maybe is competition, but
I would say, like, for me, Armin has been my favorite character for a long time.
Yeah.
But just the fact that Armin full on like scrambles over the table, just like get that fucking tablecloth out of my way, as I'm gonna beat his ass. You know?
I'll show you why the abridges make me psycho.
Right.
Like I'll show you psycho.
Crimson King, motherfucker.
Like this is a much more feral version of Usopp, I feel like, right? Where it's like it's not the happy sort of One Piece adventure and fun. It's the no, you seriously crossed the line, and now I don't care if I am physically nowhere near strong enough to be able to fight you. I'm going to get over there and I'm going to make you hurt.
Yeah. So what I really love about this was that there's this assumption that if Armin was to ever fight Eren,
Can I use the mouse real quick?
Oh yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. that if Armin was to ever fight Eren, there would be this knowledge that if he did, well, Eren would kind of be like, "Hey, buddy, it's okay." Like Eren wouldn't fight back. He would, if anything, just kind of like, just kind of like be like, "Hey, buddy, let's talk about this," because he knows that's Armin's thing. Let's talk it out. But the fact that Mikasa immediately, and I mean with just speed, and grace, armbars him and just completely ends this. Eren doesn't even react in the slightest bit.
Doesn't
He
surprise
doesn't
him.
flinch. He doesn't move.
Yeah.
Again,
It's
I would say
Vader
there's more
blocking
stuff-
Luke's lightsaber. Like it's the abusive relationship where the person being abused is the one that defends the abuser, right?
Oh,
and
sure.
And there's nothing that the third party can do that very much cares and sees what's going on.
I'm just impressed because there are two Titans in this scene, and one of them is the biggest Titan ever.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, that's
And
a good
it's-
point.
And it's
That's a
getting
good point.
restrained basically by probably humanity's like second best Titan killer.
I mean, gorilla testosterone. You know
It
how
is
goes.
it is a hell of a scene basally to have this
Cocaine
all
is a hell
happening
of a drug, yeah.
while one of them has already pre-cut his hand, but is showing no real inkling of wanting to even transform here.
Nope.
So I just think this scene is brilliant. It's sad.
Can
It-
you
it
imagine
hurts.
being Gabby in this situation and seeing this shit unfold? Like on the one hand, here's Eren Yeager. He shows up with a cut on his hand, right? She saw what he did in Liberio, right?
I mean, not only that, she heard the speech
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Willie Tybur of
Yep.
like the demon Eren Yeager, the
He
one
can
who
start the
has-
rumbling,
who
you know,
has the ability to
Yep.
awaken Armageddon
and flatten the earth.
just
Yeah,
flatten the earth.
Yeah.
And, these people are all just chilling and talking.
They're all chilling and talking,
She's
and
just
all of
like,
a sudden, one of them
"What
jumps
world
at
am
him
I
to
in
beat the
right
shit
now?"
out of him while she's just sitting right there in this room.
Yeah.
Like at any moment, one of them could transform,
Yeah.
and she'd be dead.
Gabby's hands have not left the table this entire time.
No, they haven't. And in fact, the very fact that she is seeing this
Mm-hmm.
with these people that could transform but don't shows that, you know what? And on top of everything that's been happening in the past few episodes, maybe there really aren't demons because they are showing restraint with this power that does not comply with the narrative that you have had in your head thus far about how they're all bloodthirsty savages that want to just kill and slaughter.
That image of Gabby with the table flips is hilarious. Yeah, we'll get to it here. We'll get to it here in a second. But yeah, the bit with Mikasa here, just realizing what she's done,
Yep.
and it was just instinctive.
Even against someone like Armin.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, I think she's genuinely scared of what, Eren could do.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
she's
she could
also
be
just
trying to defend
protect
Armin as well.
Armin here.
Yeah, yeah, that's totally possible. Yeah.
But then Eren just being like, your entire life has been dictated by your Ackerman blood.
Shut the fuck up!
Right. And while it could be right in the plot, like in the world side
Sure.
of things here. Oh, could you come more into frame a little bit?
yeah.
You just pop it out a little bit. All right. We know that writing wise, you don't write characters that have that though.
Well, or if you do, one, no one necessarily needs to know that they do, and if they realize that they do, does that actually change who they are as a person? Because at that point, they then have a choice, right? Of do they go along with it or do they fight against it? Yeah. And they can choose, and it is a genuine choice. They can choose to just be like, you know what? No, I choose not to believe it. I don't think it has an effect on me.
my God.
I will continue to be my own person.
Yeah. But just the it's the double, triple, quadruple, quintuple emphasis on this idea.
It's
of,
all you really are.
There's nothing else. There's nothing else. There's nothing else. This is all you are. Yeah. It's just to break her down here. It's just to basically say, yep, I'm severing this connection. Damn it. She's actually like really like tough. She really is connected to me. Okay, don't worry. I won't look.
Don't look.
I won't look. And it finally breaks here with this, and then Armin.
That person has been banned.
Oh, someone was really trying to spoil things.
They even spoiled me on some things, if it's true. But
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay. And then Armin unleashes the punch. Just, here it is. Kapow. Let's go. Oh.
And Gabby's just like,
Gabby's just
what am I seeing?
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Yeah. That was good. That
Yeah.
was good.
Mm-hmm.
Way to go, buddy. Like Armin, I have I have so much respect for you to be willing to do this. Because this is Armin saying like, "Oh, you'll throw your connection with Mikasa away just to make this point? Yeah, then I'll throw away my friendship with you.
You are dead to me then.
Clock you across the face here.
Let's see you grit those teeth. I'll knock some sense
Yeah,
in you.
I will punch your teeth into your throat because at the very least, you deserve at least that." And what I like about this is that, again, Eren doesn't flinch. Eren got hit with the punch and just kind of goes, like, oh.
Yep.
Oh.
His face hardly even gave to the punch.
Nope.
Like it was almost like Armin was punching like a brick wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No talking about the spoilers, people, and so
Yep, we're moving on.
Let's just move on. And hey, let's use this as an opportunity example. If any of you want to volunteer to help out with modding and things like that, get in touch with me. Send me a DM on Discord. If you're not on Discord, I don't know, but yeah, and we can talk about that.
Yeah. And then they fall.
And he goes in for the second hit. He was not gonna let up.
I love the ease at which though Eren manhandles him.
Oh, it makes it so much worse.
And again, I'm kind of operating on this idea that Eren has already tapped into the Founding Titan's power on some level.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not even really surprised that this is happening. But wouldn't that just make it even more unsettling, the idea that he's like, oh yeah, I knew this fight was going to happen. So, yeah, based on that, then, okay. I know how this is going to work, you know. Oh my god, the fact that he full on like uppercuts, like I want to get the frame here where he like full on uppercuts.
Does this work?
God, I think this is the best I can get, but he full on like uppercuts Armin, like dead ass, just blood gushing from his mouth there.
Yep. Okay, so this might be a very bad idea to do on a stream, but I'm just going to do it. So, if you are not on our actual Discord, but you want to help with modding, you absolutely can, potentially.
Yeah,
just reach out to me. My Discord handle is Jacob #4489. Please don't contact me if it's not about the modding thing. If you're, getting this and you're not on the Discord.
I wouldn't have done that, but okay.
Yep, I know. But, yeah, if you want to help out,
Sure.
you can.
Okay. All right.
Now back to Attack on Titan.
Our boy took this one on the chin, like literally took it on the chin. And Eren is way better of a fighter here.
Yep.
Way better of a fighter here. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
The speed at which he goes through this here. And he then just proceeds to then not even let him fall down. He just
He destroys
rails
him.
into him here.
Yeah.
Now,
and then,
of course, the
the
Jaegers
soldiers
comes
come
in.
in.
They're like, whoa, Eren, you okay?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
Armin, you and I have never fought before, have we?
Mm-hmm.
This
And
hurts, man.
all the time they've been friends.
This hurts because there's been this sacred trust about the idea that Armin has always been physically weaker than his two friends here, and he's been the one kind of following around the most, of the two of them. Like they chased on ahead of him, and yeah, he's become the new little Erwin in a lot of ways. But like this is cruel, Eren. The fact that this isn't the end of him beating on Armin, basically. That he keeps doing it after this. Yeah. That's just
you don't, and this is the thing that blows me away, is that you don't get something like this when we also got the episode Hero.
Yeah.
Like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
So-
Like here we see just a really just painful look at this whole thing here. I didn't even notice this on the first time, but we have in the background a painting of two galleons, two massive ships, just tearing each other to pieces with cannon fire.
Oh, uh-huh.
Like there's one of them with a mast practically like falling over.
And then there's this tiny fishing boat in the middle.
Yeah. Tiny fishing boat in the middle, or tiny small little sloop in the middle that's just like, I can't do anything about
Big,
these...
strong Mikasa that feels really small right now.
Yeah, exactly. So I felt like the painting was a nice little touch in here. But, like, Eren is not going easy on Armin.
No,
here.
he's not just subduing him or anything. He is beating the shit out of him.
He is just destroying him.
Yep.
And, again, these are two titans
Uh-huh.
that could throw down in ways that would hurt a lot of people, and yet they're
But
not
they
doing
don't.
that. They are
Yeah.
not doing that. So it just... it just made this episode even more painful.
Ships in the background of symbolism for the Aramika ship sinking. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
With how much I would assume because of social media and stuff, creators nowadays are probably very aware of,
Definitely.
fan kind of stuff. I know that a lot of mangaka, though, intentionally stay off of social media
Oh,
for
yeah,
that very reason, though. And
Yeah.
also because they're very protective about their identities and stuff.
Watch, the other ship is the Era
here's a better
Historia.
Here's a
ship.
better shot of the ships, though.
Yeah.
You can very clearly tell that
And-
it's a littler ship that is caught in the middle of all this.
And then Mikasa just crying and saying, please stop.
Please stop. Like
Yeah.
this
Uh-huh.
this is painful.
Yep.
This is painful. Ugh. Wow. Oh, we got some bits that
Yeah.
we missed here. The Rex stuff, the 100 bits. I think the Ackerman headaches are more due to high blood pressure than an old personality trying to break free. You've seen all the insane shit they do. Their hearts have got to be burning a mile a minute. Also, I don't know if the awakened Ackermans need to be attached to a founding titan. Levi never met one. It looks like they just attach to someone who inspires them and that gives them their powers. Well, sure, I think that's probably what awakens them, but it is oddly coincident that the person that helps Mikasa awaken her
Ends up
abilities ends
later
up later getting the
the
founding titan.
And with paths, it's like, okay, could there
With
be
paths.
something that... Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
saying. Because the fact that memories can be manipulated in any way, shape, or manner, though, that means you could theoretically send memories back to yourself. Don't worry. Big, crazy theories are coming with the next episode discussion. We haven't even
Yes.
really gotten into that shit
Nope.
yet. So,
Nope.
this is about the point where we're going to speed past a lot of the things in this episode here.
Yeah.
Because Armin has his last little bit where he's like, oh, okay, is that it? Is that all you came to say? Saying, I would say exactly what the audience kind of wants him to say. That you wanted freedom just so you could hurt Mikasa? Well, tell me, who's the slave that bows to a bastard again?
Yeah.
Now, Armin's saying this with a bloody, swollen face, and yet it's Eren that's
That
the one that
grimaces.
grimaces.
Yeah.
Because he's right.
Those words cut deep.
Those words actually hit. This is the first time where
Yep.
it seems like Eren is responding with emotion to something that they said. Now, the stuff that he said previously when Eren got like a little bit like angry or a little bit intense, it was following up to add emphasis to the things that he was saying to them, not in response to things that they were saying to him. Because he didn't really let them speak. Like, Eren was just kind of monologuing the whole time. And then it was
Gotcha.
Mikasa every once in a while being like, no, that's not right. No, not at all. So I really, really love this bit here because Armin did actually get the last word in. So power to you, buddy.
Yeah.
Love you, man.
Armin pulled the reverse Uno card. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Super Train Station, H to the 100 bits. I'm guessing that painting was a recent gift from Hizuru because no one in parody would be able to paint a scene like that.
That's probably true.
I
is
agree
probably
that it would
true.
be something that came from overseas for sure. Jenny Monty, the 100 bits. Armin cut deep.
Yep. Our boy does. Our boy
Yep.
does, because he will cut you.
Yeah. Now, what I like about this is this shows that, well, this goes both ways.
Yeah.
All three of them understand
Don't
each
dish
other.
it unless you can take it.
Well, right, but all three of them understand each other enough to be able to cut this deep,
Right.
which means that Eren's statements and stuff like that work because he knows them so well. That's just another
Yeah.
thing to just be.
Right. Even with how much Eren has changed, whatever the reason for that is. Yeah.
And then Aaron doesn't really have a great response here, so he just says, who you calling a slave? Let's go. Which is basically just saying, no you.
Right. It's the, but no yous don't work like that. Like,
Yeah,
like
he already no you'd. You can't no you back a no you.
Yeah, like
it doesn't work.
And certainly not just by saying no you. Like you have to say something a bit more to it to show that like no, you're talking bullshit. Like it actually is a no you.
And the fact that, you know, Aaron and Armin kind of resorted to violence, basically each kind of stated that they had they had lost the opportunity for diplomacy and, you know, convincing the other that they were right or wrong.
Because Armin started it, but Aaron certainly finished it, and he didn't have to like that.
Nope.
Right? He destroyed Armin. He started to enjoy it, right? Because it's the, maybe, hopefully, this is a way I can actually beat you here.
Okay. So we get over to Zeke and Levi with the scout squad that are all about to be baboomed really soon. And he says, we'll make one of the Jaegerists into a Titan and have them eat Zeke. It's like, oh, okay. So we just get someone to just get it out of Zeke's hands as fast as possible. Now, what I believe this is implying is more along the idea that it's not that they want just some rando to have the Titan's ability, the Beast Titan. Is that we don't want basically someone that has royal blood to have
so just have
the Beast Titan.
So just have literally
just some random
else
Eldian.
So that Zeke's removed from the situation, and then Aaron.
But then also Aaron can't use the Founding Titan's power.
I just have to mention this because it's so good.
What?
From Kennex Boy. Fuck, he totally nailed me with that no you. I need to warn Aaron in the past to do a better comeback. Oh man. Aaron is being such a little bitch right now.
That's so good.
That I would totally see him doing that.
That's beautiful. Yeah. And he says, no, I can't tell if he's manipulating Aaron, but their party's over if they lose Zeke, which is so exciting because I love that we can then have Zeke lose.
Right, have an actual
over the course of this
fail condition for Aaron and his whole thing.
And all it is just that, well, you know, Levi's pretty heckin' strong, so he made it work.
Yep.
Now, I kind of have some whack theories with this book here, and they're kind of goofy, but it's just the idea that, like...
I think it's been confirmed by this point that it's Xavier's book.
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
I did like the theories that... Because I forgot that it was Xavier's book, too. And I loved the theories that you came up with about it.
That it's something where he wrote down part of their plan.
Yeah, or that... Well, there was that one, and then what was the other one?
It's a guidebook, basically. That was what I was saying.
Yeah.
Now, what I love about this is that during the course of this time, Levi's basically just deciding, like, how to do this. So he's like, should I just cut off all his limbs?
Right.
Yeah, I think that should be
eventually,
fine,
I'll have to do that.
I guess that's good. And there was meaning in your deaths, and at long last, I'll prove it. But I'm just waiting to skip to my favorite goofy moment in this episode, which, holy shit, I loved this.
It's some straight up
so
Joseph Joestar stuff.
This was some Joseph Joestar level shit right here. Oh my god! Attack on Titan does not need to do the Marvel style humor to be funny. Which is just it's getting serious. How about some random joke in the middle?
Right.
No.
Crazy witty banter.
Just the idea that
sticks out.
Freaking Dio's voice actor.
Yep.
Zeke. The whole Kekokudori, you know? He just is like, and run away! Like this this sent me. I felt so validated just with like I'm just going to fully take in the scene as it is and then let my dumb meme brain just let all the ideas for the templates and all the things just swirl through my head, and I'm just like, yes.
Honor is for the dead.
This looks so funny.
He saw an opportunity to be like, I can get a bit of a head start. Okay, I'm gonna do it. And so someone in the comments for the video pointed out, they were like, I just want to bring attention to the fact that when Zeke runs away, it's like, yes, he runs away, and then he does the shout and all the Titans and everything, and it's crazy.
Right.
But when he does the shout, it's not like the whoa that he does.
Like,
Yeah, it's not the badass like war chant kind of a
Right.
thing, you know, in the first
I mean,
episode.
he's literally out of breath, probably a little bit already from just
Yeah,
running.
yeah.
So it's,
But it's just
like, okay,
like,
can we put things?
I want a Jack Sparrow thing of him running on the beach from the cannibals.
Yeah. What I love about this so much is that you can imagine from Zeke's perspective, right? He's like,
man.
okay, I've got to meet up with Aaron. We've got a place and a time that we're gonna meet up at. There's definitely some past shenanigans going on through Zeke's mind about how this is all gonna work out, right? But he's also like, if things don't go as we planned, this little short stack of hatred will like cut my freaking body apart.
And
he's already done it when I was a beast titan
Right. Like,
by himself.
oh man, who was it that said it? Someone pointed out though that like Levi, it takes a while for him to actually chase after him. He's just
Right.
like,
He's just like,
what?
are you serious?
You're shitting me.
right,
Like,
right. It's like I expected so much more out
What
of you.
the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
Like, yeah, and Zeke was always the worst at running. Yeah.
I really would. Yes. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah.
No thanks. Don't mind me. I'm gonna take my stuff and leave.
Yes. The ass wiping technique is to reduce friction on his ass cheeks so that way he can run faster. It's all the help he can get.
That's a wonderful thing right there. Yeah, it's an easy meme format. Right. It's perfect. Just
Like me running away from my responsibilities, you know, or like me trying to avoid the deadline for my term paper, you know,
like mom says that the dishwasher is full. Me running to my room, you know.
yeah, you know, my mom says that, you know, she'll let my dad handle me when he comes home from work, you know. Like, oh my god.
Mom says we're gonna be leaving the playground in 5 minutes. You know? Can't leave if you can't find me. Oh my god.
Oh man.
So good. It's so good. So this happens. And of course, Levi just has this like here's the meme format right here. He's just like, what? Like he looks disappointed. He's just like, no. He's like, no, I was gonna no. Like now
I was hoping Aaron would come after you and then I'd fight the both of you. Then it'd be a challenge maybe, you know?
I just there are a few things in Attack on Titan that have gotten me to gut laugh. Like just to have my chest heave and hurt. And this was it. This was one of those. Like, so good.
Oh god, no, he wouldn't Naruto run away. That would be a whole other level.
I just love the idea that even the
look at that terror in those
like,
eyes.
look at his face here. He's just like, I've got like 5 seconds of delay time for those titans to fall off the trees.
If he hadn't already shat himself, or like if he wasn't already clear, then he would have literally shit himself here, like to make sure that he could run faster.
I mean,
like,
he was drinking. Was he drinking wine or was he
Coffee?
drinking coffee?
He's drinking coffee. I believe.
Coffee is actually a natural laxative. So
And it has caffeine, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, Levi's just like, why are you, like, downing those espresso shots? No reason.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, if only he could stop time. It still wouldn't be enough, but,
He's
you know.
trying to get out of range of Star Platinum, obviously. And
It'd make things at least. Yeah, he's like, Levi's range is a lot more than a few meters. So, like. Yeah. Da-da-da, da-da-da.
All right. So memes aside, this was a scene that we knew had to have coming, not with him running away, but just the fact that all of the scouts turned into Titans.
Yep. And the fact that we got this in separate episodes, that made me so sad.
Oh,
That made me so sad because imagine now. I can't remember if it happens exactly like this in the manga because I haven't read it in a while. But I believe that once they introduced the idea that Zeke put it into the wine, I think at the end of that chapter they actually had.
Whoa!
Wait, hold
Knights
on.
of the Fallen with the 25
Shit.
gifted.
Holy
Knights
shit!
of the Fallen! Thank you so much for
you.
the gifted subs. Hey, shout out Knights of the Fallen if you got a gifted sub from them.
Wow.
That's really kind of you. Thank you
Yeah.
very, very much.
Thank
wow.
you so much.
All right. Damn. Okay.
I don't even remember what I was thinking about.
But okay, Zeke's awakening of the scouts though
Yep.
hits the MPs that have drank and even some of the garrison troops
From way the hell away.
from way the hell away. And this is something that is assumed that they all drank the wine at some point.
Oh,
But I don't think it's likely that all of them drank the wine. Some of them were not MPs. Some of them were Pixis's people. Which means they were
Okay.
not, like, uppity up people.
Sure.
So
yeah.
it might just be an Eldian thing where they get the static thing, and it's that if you have the wine...
But it was just military people. Like, I mean,
No,
at least
I'm
from
with
what we
you.
saw. Like,
I'm with you.
if anything, it's probably that some of the higher ups in the other garrisons also had the wine, just because if you distinguish, then that would be suspicious, you know?
Yeah.
But
Wow. But, okay. Just crazy about the range potential here because they didn't physically hear it. There's no way they were even close to that.
yeah, of course, Pictius would have drank the wine at some
But
point.
this is the part where I, like, almost had my heart stop.
Right, if not for the fact that everything else that had been happening in this episode already had, you know, squeezed your heart into oblivion. Yeah,
I don't want Falco to become a pure Titan. Holy shit. If he becomes a pure Titan,
Yeah.
just the fact that this, like, scared me. This scared me, y'all. But, hey, at the very least, Falco's okay. He's with Hanji.
People are being like, but at least Pictius's assistant didn't have anything happen. Yes, because she's too responsible to drink when she's handling Pictius, who drinks constantly.
And we get the now I chase you. And I love the idea that Zeke's like, hey, sorry, Captain, this is it for you, and you care about your subordinates. You're not going to slice them up just because they've grown a bit. It's like, have you seen the No Regrets OVA?
Well, so this is something that I love. I love how this happened because, so I'm gonna go back to season 1 again because watched it a lot, right?
Oh yeah, we
One of the-
all watched season 1 more than any other season for sure.
Crazy amounts.
All that gap time.
Yep, but one of the things that always got me in season 1 that sometimes I would forget about, right? Is how Levi handles the other people in the military under him after Levi's squad has been killed, right?
Yeah.
On the way back, right? And there's everyone freaking out, and there's the two soldiers in particular that are, you know, like, oh my god, you know, so and so died, and we can't go back and get his body, and he gives him the patch from Petra, you know, like that, you know, and things like that, all to make it so that they can keep holding things together, right?
Yep.
When it doesn't even really matter, they're not even that useful when it comes right down to it, right?
Yeah.
Levi cares about his subordinates, even if they're not directly his subordinates.
Yep.
A ton.
Yep.
A ton.
He's seen so much death.
He's seen so much death.
Yeah.
And here he has to directly kill him. We saw how he freaked out when we realized, like, wait, you're telling me that Titans are people? You're telling me I've been carving up people this whole time? What?
Yeah.
And now he's got to do it.
He's got to do this, yeah. Got to do this all over again.
And then, like a god of death, he does, and he gives that amazing line of, you think I wouldn't be able to do it? I've been killing my comrades this entire time.
Yeah.
That great callback to Erwin's, you know, whole thing with the sacrificing and everything. Like, you thought you zooked him, Zeke, but you got zooked yourself.
Yeah. Just the resignation that he has to do this.
By the way, this was in the PV,
The PV.
the trailer.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah, just the Titans, you know, all around him and stuff. It's
that
like,
doesn't
okay.
necessarily mean...
Yeah, not necessarily. Yeah.
That doesn't mean necessarily that, you know... Yeah.
Yeah, they actually concealed it well.
That can be something that you could, not, like, really, like, get anything from just in the trailer. But when you see that Levi and Zeke go off alone together towards the trees, then you might be like, oh no,
Hold on.
yeah, I think I know what's gonna happen here.
Right.
But
Just
this part,
another day for the
I gotta
Survey
say,
Corps.
yeah. This part though, kind of made me laugh a little bit.
Because Derpy Titans again.
Well, goofy looking Titans notwithstanding, the fact that they like hold him, and just like, oh yes, okay, my little one, yes. But just Zeke's Titan is not only something that he doesn't want to use here. His Titan is slow. Then,
Yeah.
like
We've never seen
like
Zeke's
it
Titan
literally has a
run.
beer belly. Like it's just got like this big
That's
like
true.
jiggle belly.
We have never
Monkey.
seen the Beast Titan move quickly.
Nope.
Like, the fastest we've seen it move is the
'Cause-
rotation when it throws things.
Because it's one of those things where we don't know
Yeah.
if it's a walking, running, or on all fours kind of Titan, you know?
Well, okay, so here's something. Have we ever actually seen it fight? Because the fight with Levi cannot be
What are you
called a
talking
fight.
about? Yeah, of course we've seen it fight.
Okay, fight other Titans.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah.
No, of course it's never fought other Titans.
Yeah.
No,
Right,
but
it squished the penis Titan. Reiner was off screen.
Yeah.
Levi, well, yeah, no, that wasn't a Titan, but not
Right.
even a fight.
Yeah. And then Zeke kind of talking to himself. You guys thought you had power, time, choices. Not realizing you had none of those, Levi, was your biggest mistake.
And then Levi comes up and he's like, thinking any of that mattered. That was your biggest mistake.
Yeah. But then we get the confirmation that this happened.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even if I explained my intentions, you wouldn't understand. Right, Aaron?
Which is crazy because him saying that when there's no one around to listen means that there's a part of him that probably thinks that this is for their own good.
Yeah.
Well, or no, of course he thinks it's for their
Of course
own
it's
good.
40 things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
But just vindication!
Look at it. I've been saying this for so long. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
why would he have the mitt there? Why would he? They talked. Oh.
And yes, that is a great point. Someone brought it up, but yeah. Can you imagine the Beast Titan running like an orangutan, his arms flailing in the wind? He would literally be like the Lemmy, and then like the squiggly arms like flailing behind him.
Yeah.
It'd be wonderful.
That's actually something I didn't really notice here. Zeke says, once I escape this forest, that's where you'll be.
Thinking Shiganshina, I believe.
Well, I say, we'll see. I hope you remember where and when we're supposed to meet, Aaron.
Oh yeah, where and when we're supposed to meet is Shiganshina. Oh, he might have forgotten that.
Well, not just that, but just the idea of they're all running here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why he needs to escape the forest is because Levi can't chase him once they're outside the forest. But just the idea that the
Right.
forest is a really long ways from Shiganshina.
Mm-hmm.
Like, guys,
Yeah.
the forest.
Like, we don't know exactly
there
how
was
far.
There was an expedition with the horses on like full tilt, going from like.
Rose to the forest.
Oh, that's a good point. That was
Yeah, but
that
this
was
might
from Rose. That
this
wasn't
might not.
Shiganshina.
Well, actually, okay,
So
that's
this would be a different forest.
yeah.
then.
This is probably a different.
This is a
forest.
completely different forest.
It's probably a different.
Never
forest.
mind.
It doesn't necessarily have to be. It could be the same one, but that would be ironic. You know, of Levi being like, I have decent odds. You know, his past with Titans in this forest.
Totally. But I will say it is a bit odd that he knows when they're supposed to meet. I don't see any timepiece on you, Zeke. Levi had that in
Counting
in
the days?
Liberio. Counting the days?
Yeah, you know,
Like, dude.
there'd be some light that would get through the trees. See when people sleep, things like that. I mean, I can't imagine it's very precise. Like,
Well, then why say when at all? Just be like, meet
Well,
up here.
well, right, but I mean, the day does help.
The
you
day
know.
does help, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, psych!
Huh? What's that? Uh-oh!
I just
It was
love
at
this.
this moment Zeke knew.
I just love
he
this
fucked
oh
up.
shit face
Yeah.
from Zeke here. As he's just like, oh, no,
man.
it's not possible. You actually went and killed them all.
That fast? Like, I thought it would at least buy enough time to get outside the trees.
God,
Nope.
Oh, he heard that Aaron escaped. That is a very good point. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Aaron did escape. Yeah.
Right.
That is something that he would be waiting for the signal. Basically.
Right, because of course, once Aaron escapes, then they would specifically want to move Zeke.
Right.
Yeah, so,
So
that
he's
would
like,
that would
okay,
be a
there's
good
a
way for them to
timetable
communicate
here.
for him, basically.
Right. Now that's a bit of luck that he found out that, Aaron had been moved. Because there are ways they could have done it where Zeke wouldn't have known.
Sure, but if they randomly are like, all right, we're moving you somewhere else, he could probably put 2 and 2 together.
Well, no, but let's just say Zeke's asleep, right? Someone comes at night and says, Levi.
Sure.
And then they walk away. And he's like, yeah? He's like, Aaron's escaped. We need you to move Zeke.
All right, cool. He cuts off his legs. And
Yeah,
then,
cuts off his legs. Monkey is
Right,
passed out from the pain, and it's just like, what's happening? It's like, well, we're 50 miles away now. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, fuck! like, my plan! My genius plan!
And then the people transform
Like,
into Titans.
there's a couple conveniences with the idea of this plan of theirs being something where they can guarantee this that make me think that there's just
Okay.
paths shenanigans involved. But Levi not only forces this into a situation where Zeke's going to transform,
He gets
but like
just
he cuts up the branches, has them fall.
Like-
we see Levi coated in blood.
I love-
That's not steaming off, mind you, just for dramatic effect
Yeah.
or whatever.
Uh-huh. There was a lot more of it before.
Yeah, of course. But I love the fact that he's already like armed up with thunder spears and everything. He's like, oh yeah.
Like
He's like Henry Cavill. He's like he's got his
yeah.
thunder spears, and he's just like, I'm gonna ram these so far you won't be able to use any ass wiping technique to clean this up.
Nope.
Like oh.
I love how completely one-sided it is because like Zeke does his whole thing and everything, but Levi's like, no, I got this. See all these green things? I'm gonna just cut them off and get them falling. I'll be behind one of them. You know, you won't know where I'm coming from.
Nope.
But I'll get you.
Yeah,
he
you've been
does.
Thunderstruck. yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh,
music was
man.
really good, but just all you had to do was read your damn book.
Mm-hmm.
Or
You
get
had
the
one
idea that
job.
You could escape from me.
Do you think I wouldn't kill my comrades if they turned into Titans? You don't
Yeah.
have a damn clue how many comrades we've killed. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And Zeke's just like, please stay away.
Oh. just let's get into that gritty image there where he's
Yeah.
just like, all right, it's over.
I've been waiting a
It's all
long
done.
time to do this. I'm not gonna be stopped by anything.
Yeah, there's no armored titan that's gonna jump in the way to save you now. Like,
No,
Zeke,
no.
This is you're all alone.
Yeah, you'll wish Reiner was here.
Yeah.
What were you the god of again?
Yeah, what were you? Oh my God, this looks exactly like the Reiner situation.
Oh, uh-huh.
When all the thunder spears launch like right
Yeah.
inside there,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just like, oh no,
Yep.
maybe I shouldn't have been sent to the front lines. My Titan really isn't good for fighting.
This is bad.
I gotta say, this is the kind of stuff that I really couldn't like just see coming.
Oh, uh-huh.
Because I thought Zeke's plan
I
like
would hope
here
not.
would
Yeah.
work. Basically, that the Titans would just cause full chaos here, and Levi would have to basically have to flee. Mm-hmm. And then it'd be a thing of where all Zeke has to do is not transform or run away with Titans. Which, to be fair, I will give a little bit of a thing here. Zeke, if you were wanting to be big brain,
You would have hidden.
no, you would have had 3 Titans, each put their hands like this and
And
run
run in
in
separate
multiple
directions.
you dingus. Because
Yeah.
you basically gave Levi beacons as to like,
You kind of fucked
where is he
yourself on
going?
that one.
Because if Zeke was a little like regular human running around,
Mm-hmm.
all he has to do is hide in a bush and wait for Levi to just run out of gas looking for him.
Sure.
But no, if he had sent that would be even more Giga Brain. He sends all 3 of the Titans in different directions with their hands like this. He's in none of them. He's just hiding, waiting for Levi to go off, and then he's just like, oh, okay. Oh, actually, I just made a monkey sound, and I didn't even realize it. Okay. And
No,
he's hyperventilating
no,
so much
Levi-
he makes
Levi-
a chimpanzee noise or something.
No, Levi kills the Titans. Levi kills the Titans, and then he just listens. And then he hears this drip, drip. And he's like, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. I know the sound of piss when I hear it.
Yes. But okay. Oh my God, the look of Zeke when he's been just
Blown to pieces.
blown apart and burned here.
Yep.
Look at this. Damn, you stink and you're filthy, you ugly piece of shit.
Uh-huh.
But he's gonna come back from this. So that's maybe the hint about what happened at the end of episode 15, was that if Zeke could survive this, then he could totally survive, what comes.
Well,
after
okay,
this.
maybe not, because those thunder spears were on the sides of him. This was actually in
him?
his gut.
Yeah, but we don't know where the explosive material is.
I get the feeling it's all throughout.
Well, I would think actually, if you want to make this be the most effective, it would blow off through the cap primarily.
Well, actually, okay, no, yeah, that's a good
It
point.
would blow off at the tip.
Right, because it would probably be a two-stage thing where there's the part that's the fuel, right, to help
Right.
them actually shoot.
Right.
And then there's the other part at the head
tip, the
that would
warhead
actually be
part.
the explosive part, and that's
Yeah.
what was inside him. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
All they need is the tip, guys. Just the tip is needed. But
Hey,
yeah.
if his head does get blown off from his spine and he somehow survives, which would be kind of bullshit, because I don't think they would work that way. But
I mean, Reiner
but-
transmitted his consciousness
Well,
into
yeah,
his
but-
spine.
but
That's the most bullshit
he was
thing
in
the
he
Titans
was in
have
his
done.
Titan form at that time, and it's the plot armored Titan cannot be underestimated. But if his head did get blown off and he survived, which would be dumb, but if it did, then we would have another situation where Dio is, a disembodied head.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Just saying.
Levi stumbling back with just the head of Zeke.
Oh yeah, I would love it. Like,
And it's just
or
like
even
this thing
even if
of,
it's got the
"Someone eat
shoulders
this
too,
bastard
and
already."
he's just holding him by the hair, and it's like,
yeah,
you're not taller
dragging
than
him
me.
by the hair. Yeah,
You're not taller
yeah.
than me now, are you?
Oh my God.
And then there's the thing with Shadis,
And the
which
Shadis is basically
is
dealing
pretty
with
quick,
the fact
but
that the soldiers
it's-
are like, hey, why are we being trained to kill Titans? That doesn't make
seems
sense.
kind of obsolete now.
Yep, we dealt with all the Titans.
It's kind of like why are we being trained to kill people in the very beginning of the show? It's like this seems a bit useless.
Yeah. And Shadis's line here. Hey, Flock, looks like you finally figured it out. And he gives this thing of, unless you point guns at people, nobody cares what your little gang of asswipes says, and that's a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah!
You can take that to the bank.
The fact that Shadis, Drill Sergeant Shadis, calls the Jaegerists your little gang of asswipes.
Yep.
This this felt so good. This felt so good.
Thank you guys. 1,000.
Guys,
for
1,000
5
with
gifted
5
subs.
gifted. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Valley's Dolph with the Twitch Prime for 6 months. Thank you so much. We actually got a couple other things that we missed there.
yeah.
Phoenix Master with the 100 bits. Levi put the bottle of wine in the air like that. Or Levi put the bottle of wine in the air like that was going to stop them reaching it. # short struggles.
Oh,
I got you.
yeah.
Funny.
Holding up the wine. Yeah.
500 bits from Mom Elalnazer. Really enjoyed your episode 15 discussion. I usually only watch reaction portions, but your discussion was really thought-provoking, especially about keeping the children out of the forest. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you for the bits. The bits. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, the
Chattis.
Chattis
Balls
Shadis.
of steel.
Oh!
Uh-huh.
Like clunk, clunk at the bottom of his
Yep.
legs. You know
That's
what
the
I'm
reason
saying
he
there?
doesn't fight in the Survey Corps anymore. There's no ODM gear that can lift his massive balls.
I really was surprised back in season 3 when they did the sudden Shadis backstory bit.
Oh, uh-huh.
It was really good though for the themes of everything.
Yeah.
But I love that here, the guy who I've just more experienced through memes, really, the one that tells off all the cadets, as the drill sergeant, is the one here being like, hey, Flock, if you have to use violence or the threat of violence to make people follow you, you've already kind of lost the argument. It's the Armin thing of, the reason why you're upset and you have to use violence to those bullies in the first episode is because I'm right.
Right.
Aaron having to antagonize his best friends and piss them off like that with those really, really horrible things he was saying It's not exactly threat of violence, but it's
Yeah.
something very
Well,
similar.
it's basically because, an actual gun doesn't work on Mikasa. So
Yeah.
it bounce off of rock hard abs.
Yeah. And dumbass Flock can't even shoot Shadis' foot. He missed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like, though, the fact that Flock ignored Shadis, though, and went and spoke to the cadets. Because this is
Right.
where I would say Flock's character's strength is that he understands,
How to talk.
well, not just how to talk, but who to talk to.
Yes.
And basically saying that, hey, we've given up our lives, so why would we give it up for something that's not going to ultimately help us in the end?
Sure.
And the rough part about this is that he's right.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how big their military is. The world is coming for them. Because of what Eren did,
Mm-hmm.
because of what Eren did,
Mm-hmm.
they are coming for all of you.
Right.
And the best thing you can hope for is that you're probably going to get put into an internment camp. That's
the best
the
situation.
best situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're really screwed here. Yeah.
You know what's kind of funny? If you think about it, Flock is kind of that reincarnation of early Jean.
Early Jean.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Because you remember what Marco said to him? John, you're not strong. And that makes you a good leader. Because you understand how the weak feel.
Yeah.
That, if anything, is the big purpose that Flock probably serves in Eren's unit, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not a Titan shifter. He experienced the wrath of a single Titan, right? And it completely reshaped his life, right?
Yeah, the warp jump is echoing what you were saying in chat there.
Oh,
That he was in their position 4 years ago, so he knows the
Yeah.
position that they're in.
yeah, exactly, right.
Yes, short of dying, Ameju, yes, that's what I was meaning. Is that I was meaning that there's no way they could win a war against the world.
Right, yeah.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But okay. This Shinzo Sasageo moment again being taken in this way.
Mm-hmm.
And it just hurts because then he basically says, well, okay, if you believe this, then beat Commander Shadis until he can't stand anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I liked that they basically didn't show it because, yeah, if it came down to it, yeah, they would eventually beat him. But I love that also before this, for a brief bit, they show the hands, I believe, and they're all bloody.
Uh-huh.
But one of them is holding his own wrist there in
Mhm.
almost like a bit of shame.
Sure. Well, it's the he probably hurt his own hand when he did it,
Yeah.
but it's is there any other pain in there too?
Yeah.
Not just physical.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
was a
And I love that Shadis, he sees that a lot of them are hesitating, and he's like, huh, none of you little...
come on, yeah.
Yeah, you little tots.
Yeah.
Even all of you couldn't beat me. All right, yeah, let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
What a guy.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you thought you weren't special.
So, cool little, I would say, just kind of scene to showcase where everyone is at here.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this because now we know that all these cool people are in the same place here.
Right.
Look that's the Browse's
Kaya and her
family.
and yep.
That's the Browse's family right there with the orphans and stuff.
Oh yeah.
We've got Armin, we've got Connie, we've got Mikasa, which means Jean is in here too.
Yep.
And then we could get all these people
Gabby's
to
probably in
form
there,
their
too.
own squad and stuff.
Yeah.
I can't wait for them to have their own like breakout moment.
Oh,
Like that's something I'm really looking forward to.
it's curious that you think that's gonna happen.
I totally know it's gonna happen. They have to.
Oh, they're just gonna die.
No.
They get left in there when they go to Shiganshina, and then they're there for the whole rest of the series.
Yeah. Can we talk about an interesting transition choice here?
Oh, yeah.
We show Eren just kind of sitting here by the window.
Feels very season 1 finale kind of a
Oh.
situation.
Oh, okay.
Or what were you
I
thinking?
just think it was odd as to just to be like, okay, yes, we get it. He's probably moved the locations to Shiganshina, and he's here. Okay, but he's not with anyone, so he's not going to be speaking. So why are we showing this?
Is this before or after they moved to Shiganshina? I can't remember.
This should be after, because Flock is already here at Shiganshina with Shadis and
Okay.
everyone's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, but the
course.
very next scene after that is kind of a phased, hazy, kind of
Yeah.
fuzzy first-person perspective of Zeke looking up at Levi.
Hey, you're finally
Yeah, I
awake.
saw. You're finally awake.
Yeah,
Oh my god, it's so good. But I'm done with my paths thing and stuff like that. But just the idea that potentially he and Zeke have some kind of connection and stuff.
Oh,
I don't know. But
no, he's just looking up at the sky and like, we both are looking up at the same sky.
yeah, he even says, "You awake?" But okay, this
I love it. And I love how Levi is also sitting within range of the blast.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like he just doesn't care.
I do not care.
Yeah. It's like,
Like I just love that this is the kind of setup idea that for some reason my sadistic dumb teenager self would have come up with as to how to detain a Titan in this situation
without just constantly slicing off limbs until your blades get rusty. or
right
dulled.
right but that is one of the things that I remember like you and I would like talk about is like they could just keep slicing off the limbs, right?
And Levi does it.
And Levi does
he
that
doesn't shy
in
away from
addition
that.
to this.
Yeah.
In
yeah.
addition.
Because you can never be too sure. You can never be too sure. Especially when you're dealing with things that have regenerative capabilities. And
Oh my
whatnot.
god, yes, even Cyberpunk 2077 Phoenix Master. Yes, exactly.
Wait.
Yes. When your plans are in ashes, Zeke, you have my permission to die. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we knew everyone was waiting for Levi to shove his rod into Zeke. You know.
Yeah.
And the choice is all up to Zeke when he blows his load. All he has to do is... Well, anyways.
I love this, though. Hey, I don't sympathize. You toyed with the lives of my comrades. Tell me, was whimpering while covered in shit part of your master plan? Like, he has had it.
Oh, yeah.
He has had it.
Oh, yeah.
He is like, I don't have any subordinates and no one above me as well. This is my call. I get to do things my way. And I grew up a mean son of a bitch. So I'm going to utilize everything that I have.
I got no problem doing this.
Oh. And Zeke is just in hell right here. He's burned. He's regenerating. He's vomiting. He's probably shit
impaled.
himself. He's impaled. He's having his limbs chopped off.
Yeah.
And then he asks, "Where are my glasses?" This in context with episode 15, just knowing that Xavier was his father is basically saying that, hey, if I'm going to die, I want to have the most important thing left of him with me. That's good. That's good. And yeah, that's the end of the episode. But we get a nice little tease for the next
Nice
one.
one, Zeke.
With Xavier and Zeke playing catch.
Yep.
Have you ever thought about playing baseball? I can't. I have a mission, and the episode ends.
Right. We don't even. Yeah, that's right. We don't
So
even get
freaking
him.
good.
We don't even get him blowing the thunder sphere
So
until the end of the
freaking
next
good.
episode.
So freaking good. All right, y'all. It's time. We're halfway through.
Weirdly enough, I think this one will take less.
It
a good
will,
deal less than the
But
previous
the
one.
the reason why is because I think I already spent a lot of time talking about this episode in the actual discussion.
Well, and again, this one is there's not much theorizing to do about this episode, right? It's like
Jacob, remember, I am going to take so much liberty.
go for it.
I will have Liberio or whatever.
Prove me wrong.
With dumb theories and stuff.
Just like order some pizza or something. Go for it.
So,
I love this first scene.
Episode 15, starting off immediately with the idea of freedom. Immediately
Yep.
looking out at the world. Now, why is it constantly loading here? Hold on. Let me let this play out a little bit here. Compared to the world, it's like a tiny bird cage. All right, let me full screen this. Here we go. Okay. So, setting up a lot of things to where you can tell how Aaron came to be. Like this is the 320.5, the Zeke route, if you will. This is the Zeke perspective, where he's the main kind of viewpoint here. Grisha is not the protagonist in this setup here, so therefore he's not going to be shown, or we are going to be shown things in the Grisha is a good guy kind of light.
Right.
Oh man, I love that they set this up here with this could have been it.
Yeah.
Is that you just remind him that yes, we are not free here, and we will need to figure out a way to do something about that.
But for now, we have each other.
Or just learn to live with it. Yeah, because we do have each other.
Mm-hmm. But no,
that's not enough.
That would have been easy. There'd be no story if you did it that way.
Yeah. And since we can't leave, we have to live here till we die. But then he asks, Zeke, would you like to leave? Mm-hmm. And I love this.
He looks towards his father.
Mm-hmm. I really feel like it's the little things in Attack on Titan that make it probably one of my favorite anime.
I wholeheartedly agree.
And this is one of those things where, why would you as a father ask your son this? Do you actually want the answer here? Because you already made up your mind that you would like to leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's one of those questions that feels like the son's asking him, like, do you want me to leave you?
Yeah, it's...
Because, it's implied in this here, right? It's like, would you like to leave? It's not a, Zeke, we're going to leave at some point. It's not a, Zeke, we'll leave. Zeke, I'll get us out of here.
Yeah.
It's a, Zeke, wouldn't you like to leave?
Right. And
it's a convincing style question.
Yeah, and the one of the things that's so nasty about this is that Grisha, while he wants to do it for the sake of his people,
mm-hmm.
a very large portion of it is for the sake of himself.
Yep.
Right? Now, it is also for the sake of his son. And that's why it gets complicated, because if it was simply for himself, he probably wouldn't have had as much of a problem with it, or at least I hope he wouldn't have, right? But it's the fact that he can deceive himself into thinking, no, this is for Zeke, when it's really not, right? It's the parent that wants their child to be like, financially successful, for instance, right? And it's like, oh, this is for you, and it's like, well, yes, but is maybe also part of it for you, because you want to be able to brag about your kid, or you want to be able to, have someone that will potentially take care of you when you're later in your years, right? Things where it's you're not truly an objective third party, right?
Can I also get into a couple of the verbiage things here with this that I feel like are really like subtle and like potentially a problem here? And again, this is translated from Japanese, so I know that there can be things lost in translation, but get about this here. Is that he's like, wouldn't you like to leave?
Oh, yeah. It's a rhetorical question.
It's a rhetorical question by saying, would you not like to leave?
Yeah. And the thing is, right, exactly. Because if you have someone, let's say someone who, or even Grisha, but even more so if it was someone else. Let's say someone comes up to Grisha and is like, hey, or to Zeke and is like, hey, do you want
Zeke like 5 here or like 7
yeah, exactly.
Here or something?
Yeah, he was, I believe
well, he's definitely older when he's training.
Right, but I think...
But look at him here. He's a baby. He's a little like first grader or something.
Well, and I think in the 320, they might have actually said that he was like 7 when he betrayed his parents.
Well, we know how old he can't be based on the difference between him and Aaron's age.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But at the very least, I would say here that he looks young enough to be like 6 or 7.
Right. But the honest question of, do you want to leave this place? There's no wrong answer. That would be a very, liberating question.
It would be, right?
Right? Because then it's you have the option. The world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want with it. If you choose that you want to stay here, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. And you know what? We'd be happy to have you as our son and to bear with this
and to live in a bird cage and bear the burden of this lack of freedom that this slavery that we're in, because you're our son
and the pain of trying to change things is
It's not worth losing you.
is not worth losing you, basically,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
The-
But he's making the choice essentially for him.
right.
And then we get the world suddenly showing up, just like, oh, what's this? We hardly ever get visitors.
friendly
This early."
NPC that comes and talks to you, and it's like, oh, this is great. Oh, wait.
I love how, like, for a while, there's a very clear, like, oh, they're a little bit worried. Mm-hmm. Zeke's a little bit worried, but the guy hasn't clued in yet. He has no idea
Right.
that they're Eldians at this point.
He's in auto mode, autopilot,
But
you know.
I gotta say, there's a thing I've just noticed in anime, and they do this a lot, but these eyes, these are like the berserk eyes.
Yep.
There's a thing that I've seen in, like, just a lot of anime where the characters start to have that, like, glazed over, like, wide-eyed, just dead stare.
Anytime you can see all the way around the iris,
Oh.
it looks unnatural.
It does look unnatural.
It looks unnatural.
Yeah.
It looks just a bit too too intense, you know?
Yeah.
Because normally and when you're drawing, when you're learning to draw, you might be practicing drawing faces and stuff, you might think that this is how people look, but it's not. They look like this. Tops are cut off right by the eyelids.
Yeah.
No. When you're like this,
There's still
Suddenly
the
it takes
head killed. This ain't berserk.
still it takes on a whole different meaning.
Yeah.
Like it feels very kind of King George and Hamilton with the like not blinking.
Yeah.
You know. You're my favorite subject, you know?
Yeah.
And Zeke doesn't understand this.
Well,
Like maybe a little bit. But
I think he does a little bit because he could tell that his parents were scared, so he was scared.
yes, right. And
Before this
right,
happened.
but that's basically the those are his walls, right?
Yeah.
Suddenly dad starts clutching me tighter and I can tell he's scared, so I should be scared too. And that's about it. I don't
And
know why
then-
I'm wet. I don't know why this person hates me and all that
And
stuff.
here's where he got the idea.
Yet here you are pumping out kids. Childhood trauma can start very early, people.
Well, not only the childhood trauma, but this is where the euthanization idea came
Right.
up.
Yeah.
This is where he came up with it.
Yep.
Not that he was literally thinking about that, but when he probably thought back as a teen, it was a moment like this that
he remembered those words.
and he remembered, here you are pumping out kids, and he's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's it.
Uh-huh. Yep.
That's the answer.
We should just stop doing that.
that'll solve all this pain and hardship.
Yep.
And yeah, that's some yeah. And see, you can tell that at this point, the only thing that's not really innocent about what Grisha's done here is that he asked the rhetorical question to his son. But in this respect, I wouldn't blame Grisha or what's
Dina?
her name? Dina, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, like
For this.
it's
This is the world coming at them. Like it's,
Right.
it's really hard to shield your son entirely from this kind of stuff.
and that's why in 320 it was a lot not that it was more understandable, because it's still understandable of how Grisha got to this point and got twisted in this way, but it seemed a lot less harmful potentially, right? Where it's
Yeah.
like you I mean, you didn't see this coming, and maybe it would have been kind of hard to see this coming, right? Makes a lot of sense. And yeah, with what's happened so far,
yeah.
he's an impassioned guy. It makes sense that would rub off on his kid a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But
But this was the
there was
second.
staying power to it.
Yeah, and this is why. This is the second part where Grisha screws up, but it's more overt this time. Remember this well, Zeke.
Right.
Why? Why, Grisha?
Yeah. Why would you want him to remember this?
This is something where you're like, if anything, the reason you're
Be
cradling
traumatized by this, Zeke.
the reason why you're cradling his head here, Grisha, is because you're trying to protect him. So you're basically like, let this define you. It feels in a twisted way, yes, give in to your anger.
Right.
Like it's basically, let the hate flow
Well,
through you, let the fear
It's-
enter. It's just like,
It's the kind
No!
of thing where
no!
I would not be surprised at all if Zeke were to be like, "Daddy, you're holding me too tight. You know, you're
Or,
hurting me. You
like-
know, something like that."
Like, okay, I'll remember this, Dad, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try. But
Uh-huh.
I didn't like it. Why are you making me want to remember that? Like, I didn't
Yep.
like that. They were mean, you know?
Mm-hmm.
God. If you don't like it, you've got to change it. This is another thing that I feel like is is a fun twist on something that's really
Oh yeah.
a really good. Okay, let me talk a little bit regarding the idea of environment versus your
Willpower?
Your willpower, yes. When you're in an environment that is hostile,
Yeah.
you are getting basically feedback from your environment that shows that you're not safe here in your environment.
Yes.
So, naturally, as a human beings, we have two responses, fight or flight. In Attack on Titan, one of the emphases that is brought about, basically, is you have to fight if you want to change it.
Right.
So, Grisha is literally giving the Eren kind of mantra here of, if you don't like it, you've got to change it. You have to fight back.
Yeah.
But what he's also saying here is he's saying, if you don't like it, you've got to change it. He is not saying, I'm going to fight with you. I am
Right.
not going to protect you. I am not going to fight for you. I'm not going to equip you until you're ready to fight.
Right.
It is an entirely selfish, singular soul. I am the only person in my environment.
You're alone, Zeke.
Yeah, exactly. You're alone. Yeah.
You're alone. And the thing is that we can see where this comes from, right? Because this is Grisha's childhood trauma. It's the fact
is.
that
It
it's
is.
the fact that his sister was
yep.
eaten alive by dogs.
And people watched it.
And
In
people
fact,
watched
they
it,
probably encouraged
and
their
in-
dogs to do it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, yep. And he couldn't do a thing about it. And oh, by the way, it was a result of something innocent that he did.
That he did. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Grisha.
Yeah.
It makes sense that you would have things that are not resolved within yourself and everything, right? That this would still be something that you would need to work through and whatnot. But you are exposing Zeke to that, even if he doesn't actually know yet what happened to Auntie Faye.
Yeah. It is okay to basically let your environment beat you in a lot of ways and say,
Sure.
I have to basically take a step back. I have to run away.
Well, it's the whole Annie line of the people who get swept along with the flow are people too, right? And what he's kind of saying to his son here
Yes,
is that
yes,
you're
King!
not a person if you don't do this. You're not my son if you don't do this. So really, not only are you in a bird cage, but I'm putting you then in a smaller bird cage that I carry around within this bird cage. Because
Yes.
like when you're a kid,
Exactly.
like if you've ever had this where you like go back to a home that you lived in at one point, right? When you're much older and you're like, wow, this is so much smaller than I remember, right?
Yeah.
Zeke's world is very small right now.
Very
Or
small.
rather, the world is very big because he is small, right? He doesn't even if he's in this cage, he wouldn't know. He wouldn't realize. Like not really. Not really. He's too young for that.
Yeah.
But you know what? You made him feel the same things that you feel because you put him in a cage the same way that you feel put in a cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you are put in a cage, right? But
And then, hey Zeke, you're gonna save everyone. The leap in, okay, because of all this, I'm going to push your belief point that you need to change something here. But then also, no, now Zeke, you are going to save everyone. So the decision's already been made. So all the stuff that happened before this, rhetorical,
and you know what?
not actually your choice.
If Zeke had actually been given the true option of choosing it,
He might have done it.
he might have done it.
He might have
and,
done it.
And I'll bet he would have kicked ass.
I think he would have been
I think it would have been. I think it would have
for
been
that.
incredible
Yeah.
because he would have had all kinds of things motivating him. Right? He would have had the carrot and the stick. He would have had his parents with him, supporting him and everything. And then he would still see how this affects his parents.
Yeah.
He still sees that it's something that they don't like and that he also doesn't like, both by
Totally.
proxy and for himself personally.
Yep.
So yeah, of course he would give it everything he has. Right? And maybe he still wouldn't have maybe he'd still have trouble running and things like that. But I will tell you. The fact that they used running as a specific example, yes, it's simpler than actual combat and things, right? But running is something, especially when you're carrying gear and stuff, that boils down to determination and willpower because it's a test of endurance, not speed, right? He's lagging behind not because he's not running as fast as them, yes, but that's a result of the fact that he's been running for a long time and mentally he's not in the game, right? So, in this situation, yeah, the reason he's not doing well partly physical, but it's also because emotionally he's not doing well.
Yeah. I loved this bit though with Oh God,
Xavier.
Xavier, but also the guy that's
Which I'm not sure if that's supposed to be McGath.
That's
I feel
totally
like,
McGath.
Yeah, I feel like that's
totally
McGath.
McGath.
Yeah.
Like he's got the shottis eyes, you know.
Right, and later in present day, before the whole thing with Willie, he
Yeah.
was the one who oversaw the
Right,
wits. So
right. He oversaw the wits, and this is just a younger, version of him.
Right.
But it kind of fits the age range, I would say, for.
yeah, it's probably like 15 years ago or something, somewhere around there.
Well,
or no,
we know how much
it's,
time it
No,
is.
it's much longer ago because Aaron
Yeah.
hasn't been born yet.
Yeah, Aaron has not been born yet. It's
Right.
closer to like 21 years ago,
Yeah,
maybe.
low 20s to mid 20s.
I would say low 20s, yeah. Because Zeke is 29 right now.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and I think they said in 320 that he betrayed his parents when he was 7.
Okay.
So
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so this is around 22 years ago, basically, or 23 even. But that's actually crazy. The idea that Zeke is that young and they're already pushing him to be a child soldier. Again, emphasizing the child soldier thing. This is what they do. But Xavier is I have never been so happy to get introduced to this new character and have them be a wholesome, just
Yeah.
broken,
It feels very
just guy.
like-
Just a guy.
not to make the comparison because I definitely prefer the way it's done in Attack on Titan here, right? But
Okay.
it feels very similar in style to the first Captain America movie with the scientist that, takes Steve under his wing,
Yeah,
and then gets him the serum to get him all juiced up and everything.
Yeah, this is done way better.
Yeah,
than
yeah,
that.
for sure.
Way better.
Right. But yeah,
Yeah. But another little thing here.
Social dance club.
We see basically the setup for why Zeke is so connected to his grandma and grandpa.
Sure, yeah, because they were more parents than his own parents before, and even then, still only his grandparents. So Xavier
Yeah.
was his real dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
But
this is
This is just the thing where we are, as the audience, being treated, I would say, with a bit of respect here.
Yep.
Where this is totally a thing where it's like, yep, we know exactly that this is not a social dance club. They are going to talk about the Eldian restoration kind of movement and stuff like that. And they don't bring their son into it because
Right.
all that is done behind his back. That is
Right.
not done with him involved at all.
quite frankly, this is one of the biggest ways that they can show how that it is shown how selfish they are. Because if Zeke was really their best bet, right? Royal blood, becoming a warrior,
Yep.
get the founding titan, there you go, right?
Yeah.
Even from the abysmally cold angle, you're not properly protecting your key investment. They are ignoring their child, even though they're not treating him as a child. They would surely be able to tell that they can make him do better if they give him attention.
Yeah, totally.
Even if they aren't giving him affection or even
Right.
feigning affection, right?
Yeah.
But if they just give him the full focus, they can ask him about, all right, what do you need to better succeed? What works for you? Things like that, right? And that would be a very different kind of weird thing of like sort of child actor, parent manager kind of situation, right? But no, they're straight up neglecting him. Like, and yeah, I mean, he's still getting fed and things like that. But do you really think by comparison that whatever you do with your restorationist stuff will actually help there? And in fact, don't you think that it might actually bring potential, like, undue scrutiny on Zeke, which would be bad for his warrior thing? Like, this is, in a lot of ways, to make themselves feel better because they still want to feel powerful within this cage that they're in.
Yeah. Now, this is the part that hurts here. Is I'll bet you, at the very least, Zeke
I think I know what you're
now
going to say.
actually does kind of get it.
Oh, okay, sure.
That's the really screwed up thing.
Well, and here's another...
And yet he still probably hates his dad for it.
Yep, well, he doesn't consider him his dad.
Nope.
That father, that man, oh,
That father, yeah.
I'll bet that... Grisha, if you're going to give him the responsibility of saying that you have to do all of this, right? And we're not giving you the choice in the matter, we're deciding for you, then why not give him the responsibility?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
why not actually treat him seriously? You could say that. Imagine if Grisha said, "Hey, son, I know this is hard.
You and I are going to be a part of this big
Yeah,
secret mission.
but this is going to be our secret,
you
right?
and me, yeah.
You and me. We're gonna
Yeah,
do
yeah.
this, right?
Yeah.
And this is
oh
gonna
my
be great.
God. Can you imagine
That'd still
being
be
7
twisted,
Can-
but like,
yeah.
the-
But can you imagine the difference if you're 7 or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and your dad comes to you and is like, "Son, I'm a part of a top secret organization.
Yep.
And we're gonna start a revolution.
And there's
But
something that only you can do to help out.
you're gonna be a big part of this.
Yep.
But it's gonna take some time.
And it's going to take
Yeah.
some sacrifices. I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
it will be
It's
hard
still
and you
screwed
won't
up.
understand. Oh, it's still screwed up.
But the the father-son dynamic would have been a lot better.
Right. It's at least acknowledging that there is an emotional component of this, little meat sack that you've brought into the world.
And this is the part that is also really just lack of foresight, I would say, on the the Jaeger side of things. The Dinah and
Your
Grisha.
grandparents have a different perspective on this.
They have a different perspective, and they're going to make this also harder by basically throwing an alternate look at this.
So maybe we shouldn't bring you or shouldn't send you to them and whatnot because that'll just make things complicated.
It just makes things a little bit trickier
we
in
can't.
general.
All right. But we're not going to. Okay, maybe it'd be weird if we took you to the actual like meetings and stuff. But yeah. Ugh.
God, you can just tell that Zeke is just getting like torn up inside having to deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. There's a lot of bits that we missed here. Let me do these
yeah.
again here. Grisha's VA killed it this episode. The
Yes,
way
he did.
Zeke was treated by Grisha was already heartbreaking in the manga, but hearing Grisha acting it out in the anime made it so much more intense and real. One of the best episodes of the show by far. Yeah, I agree.
Yep,
Thank
I
you,
agree.
DCN. Icemo with the 100 bits. Asking Zeke to join a revolutionary movement then is like asking a kid if they want to be an astronaut. Most little kids will say yes to being an astronaut, but they can't have an informed sense of the risks involved even if they actually wanted it. Zeke clearly does not want it.
Right, and that's and in that sort of situation, the best thing that the parent could do would be to say, "There's a lot of this that you don't understand. I'm going to try and take care of that as much as I can for you, so you don't have to deal with it, and then you can do the fun things of being an astronaut if that is actually what you wanted." Which Zeke didn't want that, but nope,
Yeah.
not even that.
Dakibara with the 100 bits. Huge paths moment for Caleb. Xaver actually is the guy Grisha bumped with at the beginning of his flashback. In the credits of that episode, the voice actor is credited with Xaver, and it's the same voice actor as in this episode. Paths, man, paths.
I didn't know that.
Whoa. Oh my god.
That's crazy.
That is so cool. Oh,
Huh.
that's really cool. Phoenix Master with the 100 bits. The scene in the book that Grisha shows Zeke was also in the season 2 ED. When that season came out, this episode's chapter wasn't even out. Mad Lad Isayama foreshadowing and spoiling even us manga readers. Wow,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Super Train Station with the 100 bits. The battles mentioned in the history book here were back in season 2 closing. Manga readers only got the actual lore about a year and change ago.
Yep.
Pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty crazy.
And so, if you were wondering why I was also so confused by the season 2 ED,
that's why.
That's one of the reasons why it's like,
That
wait,
makes
no,
sense,
what?
Yeah. I love this bit where they kind of go, "Oh, he wants to be a warrior. Okay, that's good. We've done our job. Now we'll move on to bedtime." And then right when his grandma says, "Next time you're here, I'll read you the Cat House book." Look at the way he just kind of pipes up
Oh, something normal and fun?
and he smiles.
Yep. You actually care about what I might enjoy? Oh, wow. That's great. I've never had someone do that before.
Yeah, that just hurts, man. Just the idea that he's just like, "Hey, I can be a normal kid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to
And-
get like
I almost got the vibe there
OD'd on weird history stuff."
that they were realizing that he wasn't really
Getting
really
it.
he wasn't really getting it. He wasn't really taking it in. It was a bit much for him.
Yeah.
And they stopped.
Yeah,
What
that's
a
also
novel concept.
It's also very, very good point. Yeah. And then, God, why is it that just visual storytelling is so powerful here? This part made me want to cry.
What? the
Ah,
What
Guys,
about this would possibly make you want to
they're
cry?
in Liberio right now.
Yep.
This is literally in Liberio.
These are other Eldians
These are
in the
other
internment zone.
Eldians
Yeah.
right here. They're dealing with the exact same stuff that that the Jaegers are.
But they're carving out their little slice of happiness.
But they're doing what they can here, and it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, I love it. I love it. It's
Wow,
It's just-
physical contact, smiles, positive affection, just playing with the ball.
yeah, and then this one is almost like this is like classic like bad like sitcom drama here of like
Yeah, this is the double tap.
this is the double tap.
I
Yeah,
finished early today. Let's. Oh,
Yeah.
good. You can practice more. It's like, are you even interested in what I was going to say?
just
Uh huh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hurts, man. It hurts. And then, here's what the actual history is.
There's no truth to that at all. Just,
Right. One of
just believe what I want you to believe and repeat what I say for
Yeah.
you to say.
You know what's really screwed up about this? Is that this is the exact same logic that the Warriors are going through to become Warriors.
Yes.
It's just different
Yeah.
content.
No. Yeah. It's straight up the whole
Like-
he's too dangerous to be left alive, Anakin.
Yeah,
It's yeah.
so bad.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
there are times where I have to imagine.
In every age and every place.
Yeah, I have to imagine that one of the things that people go through when they're scared for their kids
Oh.
specifically
Uh-huh.
is that they have so much care for their child, right? And yet they're so terrified that they abandon all higher forms of thinking, like all of them.
Okay.
And it becomes very survival based.
Like almost animalistic.
Very much so. So when Grisha is screaming and like freaking out later in the episode, that's that almost monkey brain, if you will,
Sure.
that he's basically like just tapping into there.
Yeah.
Because I have seen some of the dumbest acts that people have basically done because they believed that their kids were in danger or something.
Sure.
It goes from the from the because I've worked in customer service.
Oh, uh-huh.
It goes from the person screaming at the retail employee because they believed that that person like wouldn't help their kid with like
Right.
something.
Why'd
or
you give
whatever.
him a double scoop waffle cone?
Oh my God! Can you,
know?
tell that story
So-
real quick?
So this
Oh
wasn't
my
even me that it
God.
happened to. It happened
This
to.
is like
it happened to
peak
one of our other
stupidity.
brothers, right?
Oh my God!
And I swear this lady was just actually crazy, and she was known among the locals in this tiny little town for being a bit psycho. So these two kids, she's there with her two kids. At the oldest might have been like 6.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
Like 5 or 6, right?
5 or 6. Yeah.
And she sends them to get ice cream while she talks with someone that's at the shop.
Your
You know,
4 and 6 year old.
And they're just like in their shorts, not even wearing shirts or anything, and
little kids.
yeah, and they walk up and they hold up a $20 bill and they're like, we want that
want
cone.
chocolate
We
and
want
that one
they're
or
like,
something,
like,
you know?
like chocolate.
And we're just like,
they're
oh, this is so
and like
sweet,
bubble
you know?
gum, and it's
Right.
like, and it's like, we want that big cone there, I'm like, okay, or no. So my brother's like, okay, and 2 scoops, and he's like, 2 scoops. He's like, do you want that kid sized? No, big size. Okay. Do you want that actually 2 scoops, or do you want it like 1 scoop split into 2 flavors? Because we can do that.
Right.
No, 2 scoops. Big
They want
one.
they want to OD on sugar, basically.
And the scoops at this place
and he's
are
like,
big.
and he's like
They're like,
looking around,
you know,
like, where's their parent?
Where's
here?
their parent? Nowhere in sight.
Nowhere
right?
in sight. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, they have the 20 , right?
They have
they're-
the money. The
they're-
parent is okay with whatever they do. Then.
Yeah. The parent clearly trusts them.
Yeah.
A couple minutes later, parent comes screaming, actually screaming back.
Screaming.
And the children have just bright blue all over their mouths and chest.
Painted themselves with
Right.
ice cream.
And And she's like,
I was
what
on
were you
break-
thinking?
I was on break when this happened, so I
Oh, okay.
saw the
Yeah,
behind the. Saw from behind.
But she's
yeah.
like, what were you thinking? Why would you do this? You know, and it's like they said that, you know, that's what they wanted and everything. It's like, why would you let them do that? They had the money, you know. And
You're responsible.
You're responsible.
for my kids.
and as if that wasn't bad enough, I shit you not, at this job where when you're working customer service, you don't remember customers. You deal with hundreds and hundreds of people a day.
Hundreds, yeah.
She says, if my kids ever come in again,
Oh yeah.
don't let them do that. And she didn't say it with a calm
No, it was like
voice.
a threat.
It was like a threat,
Yeah.
right? It's like, you psycho bitch. Like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Like, you're...
It's just this kind of stuff, basically, is where in her mind, her kids were in danger.
Yes.
Because there's some reason as to why that was the case. But
Yeah. And no amount of saying, no, we clarified, they specifically said to do this, you know.
Yeah. But that's
doesn't care
just
about that.
that's just that point where people, I think, when their kids are involved and they believe that there is a state of fear, panic, or danger there, lose all semblance of sanity, pun intended, and just completely go into like, well, I can't understand higher forms of logic concepts. Me destroy anyone that comes within 5 feet of my children.
Dreyfus Frost, great comment. Next time, give them a bucket of ice cream. Yeah. Like with a sundae with lots of like sticky sauce and everything. Yeah.
The manager isn't good enough. Give me the inventor of ice cream.
Oh boy.
But what I think is really just screwed up here is that then the parent in this case uses the same tactics of the military brainwashing committee.
Maybe that's a good clue that your parenting philosophies and
sucks
techniques
ass.
kind of sucks ass.
Yeah. Okay. So Zeke's the outcast here, right? And here in my paranoid brain, because I'm already starting to parent this boy Zeke here, I'm like, oh no, Xavier is going to manipulate him.
Right.
Like,
And he had
that's my
every
thought, right?
opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
Every opportunity.
Yeah.
In fact, I said this in the discussion.
The most he manipulated him was to tell him to turn his parents in.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. And again, it was solely for his own protection.
Solely to save Zeke, yeah.
Right. If Grisha had wanted to get his son to do what he wanted, he just had to do this. But he didn't. Like Zeke was literally telling him, Dad, this is the way that you can get me to do what you want. Didn't listen to him. Didn't even let him speak, really.
Yeah. I love how much he very immediately, like, kind of does all the things to treat him like an equal.
Mm-hmm.
So he grabs the ball, he chucks it in a very almost shot put, like, not how you throw a baseball kind of way.
Right.
And he's immediately
Got a good arm
affirming
for a
him.
kid. Yeah.
Affirmation.
Uh-huh.
There
Yep.
we go.
Also, one of the things that I love is
Yep.
that he throws the ball back to him and he doesn't have a glove.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
When
And
you're a
then-
little kid, catching a hard baseball with your bare hands, that can sting a bit.
Yeah, it's actually...
You know? Like
It's actually pretty tough.
like
So he's like,
that's-
here, he catches it. He's like, oh, nice catch.
yeah, he's acknowledging, he's like expecting him to, he's like, yeah, you know, I you're tough. Yeah, you got this. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, there you go.
And then I love the idea that he's like, hey, you know, I'm lonely, basically. I've been throwing it off the wall here.
Right.
Little thing here that I don't know if I mentioned it in the discussion.
Oh,
But do you wanna go into a little bit of a funny little motif thing here?
The whole Great Escape, Cooler King throwing ball off the
This
wall.
is just a thing that they do a lot in those movies where the character is in prison and they're throwing the ball against the wall here.
Right.
This guy has been in prison for a while.
And a very particular kind of
Very
prison.
particular kind of mental
Prison
and
made by his
emotional prison.
family, actually. Maybe you can relate.
Yeah.
Also,
And, I am sick of being stuck here and not being free. Would you mind, like, kind of joining me in a bit of my despair and my prison here?
right.
Not trying to bring him down as a kid, but basically saying, would you mind helping me?
Yep.
So he's kind of saying, like, you know, I need you. This is one of those things that I feel like parents don't tell their kids enough because it feels like you're putting a burden on them, but they put weird other burdens on their kids with no issue.
Uh-huh.
But telling your kid, like, hey, I really need your help with this. Your kid? I will just tell you as an older brother.
They might be confused at first of like, wait, you big person need me?
Right,
You
big
know?
person need little one's help. This does not make sense. You are big monkey. Why do
Right.
you need help?
You're a grown-up. You have everything
Right,
figured
you're
out.
19 years old. You are actually
You are
like,
basically immortal.
you,
You know?
you are a god.
Yeah.
It is really funny how when I would babysit my brothers and sister and stuff, there was this idea that like, oh, whoa, you're much older, but it's like, no. Remember, we're all the kids here.
Right.
So none of us are
We all grew up
crazy
together.
old or whatever.
But when there would be like the teenager that would come in to babysit, you
Yeah,
know, and
yeah.
it's like, and they could get us to clean our rooms so fast, just being like, all right, how fast do you think you can
how
clean
fast do
your
you think
rooms?
you can do it? Yeah.
It's like, well, it's like, you think you can do it in 10 minutes? Yeah, I think so.
I think I can. Yeah.
What about 5? Yeah.
Yeah. It's so sweet because then Zeke already feels like this guy's actually treating him like a person, not just some tool.
And you know what's one of the things that's wonderful about this is that because Jenny, you mentioned and you made a great point that Grisha also had really bad experience with his parents, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's so insidious about it is that it's a cycle, right?
Yep.
That's the thing that makes it so that the justice button gets pushed so much because you would hope that Grisha would know not to do the things that his parents did to him, right?
Yeah.
Because it happened to him. He once was Zeke, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I guess he didn't learn.
Yeah.
In Xavier's situation, now granted, this didn't happen when he was a child. You know, it happened when he was a grown man. Still destroyed him, but, you know, he was a grown man at that time, so he was able to handle it probably a lot better, even if he was like, okay, I'm on a path to suicide now.
Yeah.
But they both dads
Right.
were in prisons of their own kind.
Yeah.
Right? Made by their environment, their family, and then also perpetuated by them.
Right. More affirmation from Xavier,
Mm-hmm.
basically telling him his name, asking for Zeke's name,
Yep.
and this relationship starts to build.
Yeah.
And then Zeke learns about them planning and plotting really behind his back with all of this, and that they're going to kind of push for him to get, a warrior kind of position here. And
But
Grisha's
oh no, I
freaking
guess I'm a
out.
failure in their eyes. And
Yep. And then they give this look here. And every kid that's ever felt like they were a disappointment to their parents has seen this look, has felt this.
Yeah.
This is probably the thing about why a lot of anime end up being about like kids in general, is that there's all these little relatable kind of almost easy kind of situations you can put them into that
Sure.
everyone then goes, I was once a kid. I
Right.
remember
Even
that.
someone who later in the episode talks about a euthanization plan.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was cool also that they mentioned Grice just to bring
Yep.
things back
And he
up
looks
that-
so much like Falco.
and
Colt. Yeah.
Colt, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And Zeke's the one apologizing.
And he says I'm sorry, and Grisha does not say it's okay. I know you're trying your best or anything like that. It's you can do it. You're my son. There is something that is absolutely damning about particular kinds of positive affirmation.
Yes.
Positive affirmation that is conditional.
Yes.
Not conditional in the sense of future conditions, but past conditions.
past conditions.
Assumptions, basically. Because there was something that I learned in a logic class I took, where if you have an if-then, if you say not the result does not mean not the if, right? It's like trying to reverse things. It gets a bit complicated. But if you say, okay, if this has to lead to this,
Yeah.
and this thing doesn't happen, then that means the first thing must not have happened.
Right.
Right? So if you have to succeed, Zeke, because you're my son.
Right. So if you don't,
The logic of that even if he couldn't articulate it, he understands it, even at this age, is that if you don't succeed, you are not my son.
yeah, I want to.
That's a hell of a thing to tell to a child.
I want to listen to this bit again.
Tell to anybody,
because this is
really,
the
but-
part where Zeke's listening to his dad screaming and stuff. with the music and everything.
And then we cut the music away, and we have the baseball going into the mitt. And it's a great throw.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that bit. That bit kills me, man. Oh. Now, Zeke's lamenting about the idea that he's not going to be a warrior, but then Xavier's like, that doesn't even seem like you ever really wanted to be one.
Yeah.
And
God.
I love this where he's all like, oh, well, it's no big deal. Yeah. What?
Yeah.
You
It's
didn't
stupid
even
for
want
you
to.
to
And
be a
it's
warrior.
like, well, it's stupid for you to be a warrior. And then he gets introduced to another ideology, basically, within this whole thing. The idea that, like, oh, not only did his parents have the, well, Marley is wrong, but you do need to be a warrior. This is the, Marley's wrong, but being a warrior is the worst. Like, you would not want to actually be a warrior.
Yeah.
And then we have the grandma and grandpa's one of, this is the history and stuff there with regards to this. And then also the military's just general, like,
Yep.
like we need only the most loyal and, most devoted to Marley, Ugh. Yeah. And so Zeke gets a little bit terrified here, just the idea that, like, oh, someone could be
Someone
listening.
could have heard that. I know how
or-
this works.
Yeah.
And then he's asking, right. Then Zeke asks him questions of,
Right.
well, why be a warrior?
Yeah. And Xavier starts to drop big stuff.
That's right. That's right.
There's nothing to theorize about this episode.
I totally
Jacob
forgot
says.
about this line.
Did you forget about this line? Did you forget about this line?
No, there's nothing
Behold!
to theorize from this line, is there? Okay, you know what?
What in the actual fuck does this mean?
Hold on just a second, Caleb. Talk with chat. I'm going to go get pizza that I believe is at the door.
Oh, okay.
And then I can just enjoy it while you go off.
Okay, well, Zaldrix, I believe you're in here to mod protect me, right?
Yes.
You need to protect me here. 'Cause I'm about to pop off. What happened to the deal with the Devil of all Earth, right? Let me pull my freaking microphone into frame here. Y'all about to see this guy just kind of pop off here. What happened to the Devil of all Earth thing? What do you mean touched something? What do you mean touched something? Just like, there's a thing that's, that we know based on some kind of studying of the idea of, if we go along the lines of the memories of back then. What are you doing? I thought you were going to go eat it somewhere else.
No.
You going to mukbang on stream?
Absolutely.
That's disgusting. That's disgusting.
Disgusting. See, it'll just make my enjoyment of...
Dude, can you please not, like...
Really?
Can you just, like, eat it, like, go... That's not gonna be a fast eat, dude. And if you do eat fast, you're gonna have, like all this noise and stuff.
Continue.
No. Oh, I can't do it.
Can't do it?
I'm gonna be distracted by your noises and shit.
I'll just be going all Titan on this pizza, you know?
See, you're even already chewing with your mouth open. God damn it. You know how, guys, when you're, like, family, there's, like, those little things that just annoy the shit out of you with your siblings and stuff? Jacob's and mine, I think, both, like, mutually is just the way each other eats. And we both share this, I think, about each other.
Oh, ASMR? Oh,
This
God.
is not some ASMR stuff.
I don't think anyone wants that.
Okay, but guys, what do you mean touch something? Actually triggered right now. This is hilarious. So, oh man. Everything started when the founder of Ymir touched something. So that's a translation for, you're eating your pizza. This is my time now. You're bringing this in there. You have your pizza. I have my discussions now. Okay, something. All right, Devil of all Earth. So are we to assume then that this Devil of all Earth is an actual thing? Like an actual, like, quantifiable thing that, based on their Titan research, that they, over the course of many, many years, at the very least 100 years, ended up going and looking into, well, just what it must have been. And they basically have come to the conclusion that it was based on touch. Which, how can you know that? How can you know that? There is no way you could know that. I loved when it was this esoteric, like, spiritual devil of all earth, where it's just like, yes, religious texts and things where there's literally no way that it could be a literal translation for that. And then they're like, well, from the scientific perspective, something came from something. This is logical. You know, we have Big Bang, kaboom, universe. Just to assume, at the very least, that the founder Ymir, which would essentially be the one that would carry all the Titans in herself and then, you know, goes out to the nine, you know, basically, touched something. We're getting some Ava shit. We're getting some Ava shit here. We're getting some, like, Lilith at the basement, you know, kind of weird shit here, y'all. This is coming from someone that recently has been looking back at, like, End of Evangelion stuff, so my brain is all fired up with, like, weird ideas. So, yeah. This line kind of made me go, how do you know that? Why are you even saying that? Why is Isayama giving us this? What does that even mean? And he's like, well,
mean?
Well, he's like, but I wanted to know the truth of it all. Enough
Naturally.
to shorten my life to look through Titan memories.
Because that is what happens when you turn into a Titan.
Yes. But you can just do that by being a Titan shifter?
I mean, theoretically, like...
So,
not perfectly, of course, you know.
So, Mr.
That's all
Manga
he's
reader
doing.
who knows more things, the fact that he was under the assumption before becoming a Titan that this was possible means that people who aren't Titans have regularly just talks about this kind of stuff. Just like, oh yeah, these are the kinds of things we can logically deduce based on stuff that we've done with Titan experiments with memory in the past.
There's a regular newspaper column for
No,
Titan's
it's
theory
probably
and,
a top
you know,
secret division of the military that specifically focuses on the ideas of what the Titans' origin points and all that stuff is. And I would say that it's actually probably, a lot of it is just comes from probably translating old Eldian texts, probably. Like, one of the things that would make sense for me from the, like, typical kind of research perspective is I read old books with ancient languages and dialects, right? And I am very fluent in old Eldian, you know? And we've looked at kind of their archaeological dig sites and their, you know, all kinds of stuff there. But no. Xavier says, I wanted to do this so much that I intentionally became a Titan shifter in order to do this.
hell of a thing.
What?
And compared to the mysteries of the Titans, hatred and war seems so trivial. And it really is a really, like, sad thing that, like, oh yeah, it all is ultimately just war games then,
Yep.
right?
Maybe give some context to when Zeke was like, war is bad, you know.
I mean, sure, but yeah. Oh, so crazy.
Yep.
We got a lot of bits here before. Zaldrix, Zeke's story of wanting to just play with your dad is so relatable and hits so close to home. Yeah. Broadway with 100 bits. Big props to Jacob and not spoiling stuff because I'm currently watching Attack on Titan with my brother, and as a manga reader, I find it extremely difficult not to drop spoilers, hints accidentally.
It's a
Lol.
lot easier when your mouth's full.
I'll bet. Phoenix Master with 100 bits. Owl said in episode 21 of season 3 that the founder Ymir made a contract with the devil of all earth or came into contact with the source of all matter. Both these being different stories told by Eldians and Marleyans. That is a good point. Yeah. And that's where I think more of that, like, kind of, that little Yggdrasil bit in the ED is probably going to be coming into play. Is that's the Evangelion part, basically, is that there's some kind of localized, like, point, if you will, that is not like the coordinate, but like something where the coordinate was born from. And the idea that it would be some kind of like foundational superpositioned point in the universe, beyond time and space, where Yggdrasil's tree connects with the branches and all that, and it wasn't some like super demon entity, devil of all earth thing. It's just, no, I went and spoke to a tree, or I looked at a tree for too long, and some crazy shit came out of it,
Guess we'll never know.
This is gonna have an Evangelion, so you can shut up with your like obvious obfuscation. Jenny Monty with 100 bits. 2 different ASMRs at once: Pizza Crunch and Angry Ranting. I mean, that's it do be like that sometimes. So Zeke's starting to find a little bit of happiness in just being able to spend time with Xaver. And then when he's cleaning here, he ends up finding out that the Marleyans know about the owl. And they're going to bust open the Restorationist group rather quickly.
Wide open.
And I love that it came really close to being just something where they would get out of this when he's like, Dad, Mom, you stop doing dangerous things. Because, oh my God, I can't imagine how tough this would be for Zeke to be like, I know that they're going to get found out.
Yep.
I don't know if there's anything I can do to stop them, but if I do, we might be able to just be a family after this. If the Restorationists get found out, they might drop this whole thing. Like, they might not be pushing me to do this anymore, and we can just be a family. I love this as a thing of where he coincidentally just hears about them talking about it, because that is a pretty major coincidence in a lot of ways.
Yep.
But just the fear and just emotion in his face where he's just like, please, please, please. Please, like, I don't want you all to get sent to I don't want us all to get sent to Paradis.
Yep.
And then this is his dad's response.
Have you learned nothing I've taught you?
This is his dad's response.
Ain't he a wonderful dad? Like, we memed about Grisha being a terrible father back before, all
We
of
knew
this.
about this,
Just with season 1, you know?
Yep. Yeah, respect for Zeke speaking up about it for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But there was nothing he could do here.
Nope.
He did his best.
Just like, all the way up till now.
Yeah.
They've never really given him an option, a choice, a say.
Yeah. And then it's not just the dad. I love this as well, is that it's not like there's some division where they're both not in on it, but it's just like, no, the mom and dad are both very much in on it. You are alone in this, Zeke.
Yep.
And then, we're fighting for the future of all Eldians, including yours. Again,
Are you, though?
with those eyes where it just looks like unnaturally wide, just like, yeah, that's right. Oh, I almost imagine that at times when it was like this, because I've heard of stories like this where people have had like abusive parents, and there's the one parent that's typically the abusive one and the other one who's kind of submissive. And there's times where the kids will look to the one who's submissive and like, please do something, and the parent will just kind of turn away. And it's the most screwed up, heartbreaking thing.
Yep.
And it's just like, I cannot imagine what that'd be like to go through here. But the idea that here it's even worse, where it's the thing of, no, they're both actually in on this, and they both are completely unaware of what they're doing to you by doing this. So it's,
you must be not free for us so that everyone else can be free. Yeah.
Even if there's a chance that I end up like Aunt Faye.
And this is the ultimate big guns, right? Both in the positive and negative, because he's basically saying, do you love me at all?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you,
and then
Aunt Faye was an accident of you just deciding to leave the internment zone without permission. What happens if I'm actually found out? What happens if you're found out?
Yeah.
Do you care about me at all? Here we see that clearly Grisha doesn't.
And this is the
But he
part that
does
kind of-
care about the memory of Faye.
Yeah, and that's brutal.
He cares more about his dead sister than he does his living son.
Yep. That's perfect line. Well said, Jacob. I also like that at this point, it's almost the point where Dina, who hasn't experienced what went on with Faye,
Oh,
you know, directly, she's looking like actually kind of shook here. Like, whoa, Grisha, like, hold on, like
this energy is surprising even her.
yeah, like, hold on a minute. That is actually pushing things like way too far here.
Yeah.
But again, she doesn't do anything to stop it. Yeah.
And the thing is, the words that he's saying aren't technically like wrong in a sense. Like yeah, the world is twisted. That's why she died. Yep. If you fight back and everything, then maybe you can keep it from happening to anyone else ever again. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But this is what you got in the end, Grisha. You got a broken, scared boy
Yep.
that was denied everything that he just wanted was the love from you two.
7 years old.
As Aldrich with 100 bits, I always thought Shadis's comment of Grisha having fangs in his eyes to be kind of weird until this.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep.
Dang. Lunar Fire with 100 bits. When Zeke brings up Faye to Grisha at the dinner table, Mappa cut out one of my favorite lines that humanizes Grisha once again. Throughout the episode, we are shown Grisha. Oh, you want to look at it?
Yeah. I'm just gonna read through it first because no manga clarifying comments.
Yeah. Is it fine?
Oh, yeah.
It's fine. Okay. Throughout the episode, we are shown Grisha in a villainous light through Zeke's eyes. But when Zeke tells Grisha, but Grandpa said that if you hadn't gone outside the walls, to which Grisha responds in a sorrowful tone and darkened eyes, what did I do wrong? I just wanted to see the airship. And it seems like he regressed to me when he was a kid.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. That he's basically then,
And that's the problem.
fulfilling the results of his own trauma as well.
You're not allowed to be a kid when you're raising another kid.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. And then in this moment of despair, Xavier's like, I'm going to lose this boy who's become my son.
And
Zeke's like, at least
It was nice
thanks
knowing
for
you.
playing catch with me at least.
I guess I'm gonna
my
die.
heart. Oh, this was so painful.
And the thing is,
Oh.
that in this situation, like, because Xavier killed himself before he even met Zeke.
In
Right?
a lot of ways, yeah.
By becoming a warrior.
Yeah.
It was just going to take 13 years to take effect. I can bet that there is no part of himself that would even consider doing that in this situation, right? If he could make it so that he wouldn't be a warrior, he still knew Zeke, and he wouldn't be limited by the 13 years, he'd do it in a heartbeat. Because now he sees this kid acknowledging the fact that he's going to die, coming to terms with it.
Yeah.
He's like, God, I have to stop it.
Yeah. The crazy thing, though, is that because Zeke did end up going through all of this, we ended up in the situation we're in now.
Yeah.
It's really funny, but the whole story wouldn't have happened if it didn't go this way with Zeke.
Love someone within the walls.
Yeah. Even when I'm a Titan, I'll remember you. God, that's so good. And then just, goodbye. And then Xavier's like, no, this is what you have to do.
Yep.
Report them. I was so glad that this was what happened here. Because if Zeke had felt pushed into a corner so much to where he did this kind of to spite them, I would have been a bit disappointed.
Right.
But the fact that Xavier is the one that has the sense of kind of mind to go, the only way this works here
Call CPS, basically.
is to basically call CPS. Yeah. Child Protective Services, for those of you that don't know.
Yeah.
And it basically is saying, like, you need to get outside help and basically just say, government, step in and take them away.
Right.
And the craziest thing about this is that because of this kicks the whole story into gear. It's crazy to think
Yep.
about, but
Yep.
it does. And so this guy whose motivation is just to keep Zeke alive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not wanting Zeke to become a warrior.
No, definitely.
He's not wanting Zeke to become some savior of Eldia.
Mm-hmm.
He's not wanting really to manipulate Zeke in any specific selfish way, except for the idea that he wants to have him nearby.
In fact, he was probably heartbroken when he found out that Zeke actually became a warrior.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh God, no!
No.
I put this on you.
Right.
Like, I didn't mean to do that. That was not my
Yeah.
intent.
Yeah. But yeah, it's your only hope. You and your grandparents might be spared.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically saying that, well, this is your only hope. They gave up on you and never cared how you felt. We see the grandparents in the background crying about this.
Yep.
They never loved you. Zeke, you've done nothing wrong.
Right.
You're a smart kid, a good kid. God, that's so just heartbreaking that in that moment where he does this and he's giving up,
Mm-hmm.
his parents there. I love what they do here, because you can almost see that maybe Xaver is covering his eyes here. Just maybe.
Oh.
With the position of his arm going in front of him there.
Or at least telling him maybe that it's okay to look away if you want to bury your face in the shoulder.
Exactly. Yeah. That was what I was basically thinking was
Yeah.
it's the cradling his head in his arms of what Grisha did in the very beginning of the episode.
But in a positive light.
But in the positive light.
Yeah. But again, in response to a truly fucked up situation.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So, fantastic episode. And then we time skip. And Xaver's a bit older. You can tell he's gotten a bit chunkier. And he's like, oh, well, take it easy on me, Zeke. And he's like, oh, well, did I throw too hard to you, old geezer? And he's like, hey, well, I'm
Not that old.
And then cough, cough. Oh, no,
But
I'm
your
about
13 years are basically up.
I'm about to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah. We see a nice little... I gotta show this image here, because this was a really cool little... kind of just showing where we are in the timeline side of things.
Yeah.
But, look at them.
There's the kids.
Look at them. Little old Bert, Peek,
Reiner,
little
Porco, Marcel, Annie.
Yep, Porco, yep. Ah. Little wits.
Yep.
Little wits. Annie alone.
And so the cycle continues.
Yep. So it continues. Oh, man. In a lot of ways, what's really interesting about Zeke kind of being known as like the big war chief and like the big,
Yeah.
kind of leader of the group
Wonder
and stuff.
Boy.
What if he was kind of like the big brother to all of them, because, he never really got to be.
Sure.
He never really got to have a family.
He was very emotionally supportive of them back at the beginning when, before they set out and everything.
Reiner's backstory a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And then we have another weird Titan research. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Little things that will just kind of drop here. Oh, I'll be able to release a compilation.
Yep. A memoir, if you will.
What about? Which that thing was probably then the book that, potentially what Zeke was looking at. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
But just the idea of the things the Founding Titan did to the subjects of Ymir. And he's like, oh, like rewriting their memories? Yeah, because that's just a casual thing that people talk about already. Yeah, that's no big deal. But no. We're talking about the real stuff here.
The good shit.
Rewriting the anatomy of their bodies.
Which kind of makes sense because that's probably what, on a fundamental level, the Titan transformations are.
Yes. Yes, sure.
But,
sure.
Yeah.
What? So, Ackerman's created, fashioned, designed, or whatever, now makes sense.
Yep. Even if it's not explicitly saying it, it's like, all right, that's...
The previous episode, we literally had Aaron say...
That happened.
The Ackermans were designed to protect, the king,
right,
basically.
Which follows then that this is probably how it happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, what else do you think they could do then, if that's the case?
Make big pee-pee.
No, I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that's okay. Let me add the full context in here. He adds something in here to provide an instance of what this looks like, though.
Right.
he shows some people with plague masks. And he says around 600 years ago, a terrible pandemic devastated the population. And it's just like, oh, shit. Okay, that reminds me of the thing that, Grisha had to deal with when there was a plague in Shiganshina, and he had to save everyone there. Kind of medical technology. Yeah,
Right.
okay, cool. Right. But all of a sudden, the disease just vanished from the Eldian Empire.
As we show the stained glass window with the sun shining through it.
Yep. Yep. Now, from a historian's perspective, right? All of a sudden still means some decent amount of time. It's not talking about in a second, It means
Theoretically, it could have been.
Well, no, I know, but that's probably not how they can acquire the information. So to actually test it, it would take time. So regardless, it happened over the course of, let's say, a year.
Right, an impossibly short period of time for natural causes.
For natural disease to disappear.
And the stories would correlate it back to probably a single instance of all of a sudden, simultaneously, everyone was good.
So basically, everyone got immunized naturally in some way, shape, or manner. Now, probably the people at the time didn't know exactly what had happened, or if they did, this is the part that's crazy, is that they were like, there's a disease racking the people of Eldia. King, please, do not worry. Whew. And suddenly, everyone doesn't have to deal with that disease anymore.
What about the people that were already sick?
Yeah.
If you can change the anatomy of bodies, but then you also have memories being stored through paths, could you theoretically make a new person?
Yep. There's so many crazy things.
Like, could you just be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna resurrect people like from the dead? Maybe, I don't know.
Well, okay, hold on.
I mean, it's crazy. It's some blue people Avatar shit.
Hold on. I think every once in a while I'm coming up with legitimate theories, and you kind of throw in theories that are maybe a little bit crazier to kind of discredit. I feel a little bit discredited on my theories.
Sorry,
so let me give my legitimate theories here.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So because things, so if you make theories,
I'm not going to say something that happens in the future. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I
mean,
but help me out here. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. But just the idea then that if the Ackermans were something that was made, as this is a people that will not be able to be, basically changed in any way by the founding Titan or controlled in any way, why would you do that? Yeah. Because if you have this kind of power, if you have this kind of ability, the Ackermans then actually don't make sense. You're actually making not just necessarily a royal guard, but you're making a natural enemy. Someone who is immune, if you will.
Almost natural Titan hunters. Wait.
Yeah. Oh. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. I think that the idea that the biology of the Eldians could be changed, though, doesn't necessarily mean that they could be changed outside of the present, because I'm assuming that it was the king of that time that did the actual enacting.
They did say that,
the abilities, yeah.
Because if it was another time, they wouldn't have noticed, yeah.
Right.
But they seem to be immune.
But memory manipulation is essentially messing with the biology.
Yes, a form of that, yeah.
As far as I know, you probably would not be able to mess with people with memories without tapping into the hardware and the software, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's because memories are neuron pathways being
it's like pattern matching, right?
Well, it's pattern matching, but it's basically the neuron pathways that have gotten used before, which makes it easier to be used again in that specific combination.
Okay.
And that's how it works. Okay. In a very simplistic form.
Okay.
So if you get a song stuck in your head, it's basically firing when it shouldn't, right? So theoretically, if you wanted to manipulate memories, you'd just be erasing the sort of memory within the synapses.
Yeah. So I think that there's a very real likelihood that there's been precedent set up for big changes to be made later on in the story when the Founding Titan's power actually gets used. Because they can't have this story end without Aaron using it at least once. Because that's been the whole point.
we
is that
would
when
at
he
least
uses it, he'll be free. He
Right.
won't have the vow to renounce war holding him back.
right. At the very least, we would need to get to the point where, or a point where, if it was a bad timeline, he could reset things. You would think, right? Like so that we can see, like, okay, this is probably something similar to how it happened in like the other timelines or something like that, or I don't know.
It's just so terrifying to think about then what he could do if he had this kind of power.
Yep.
Sterilization of all Eldians.
That's pittance.
That's
Who cares?
easy.
Yeah. Simple.
That's that seems in some ways even basic compared to the idea of the Ackermans existing.
And that's why the whole thing I said about resurrection and stuff, like, yes, it's partially tongue in cheek,
Okay.
but at the same time,
Okay.
is it really?
Well, they're dead.
But if the memories survive,
But then you would be sending this power beyond time then. That was my point, was that memory manipulation might make sense because that's what paths almost are, really.
right. So
It's the
so
flow,
so I'm
basically.
not saying creating someone in like a different timeline or something like that, right? But theoretically, could you just take the dead body of an Eldian, right? Or even someone that was still living, right? Through the memory of what the person that you're wanting to like bring back was like, could you just change their anatomy to match with that person, and then also change the memories to be the memories of that person?
But why wouldn't you just...
And then theoretically, you'd basically just brought someone back from the dead.
I got you, but why wouldn't you then just go and put yourself into a situation where they exist in the timeline then? Like just push memories back to where then things
Because
go certain ways
well,
that they
and
live.
Because it's the thing where
Yeah, Paz
sending-
is essentially the Eldian cloud server. Yeah,
right.
kinda.
So
Yeah.
because sending memories back in time is how we've gotten these, assuming, of course, right?
Oh, yeah.
These different time iterations, but you'd still have to figure out how to work it into a way where the person survives.
I got you.
Which would be, just a little bit I feel like at the end of this, it theoretically could go as crazy as like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure at the end, where it's just remember a garbage can or whatever, and then
Well, in some ways, I feel like that's it. I understand what you mean by that, but they could have done that 100 times already, and we won't
Sure.
know until the end.
right, and that's why the limitation of being able to actually get like the royal blood and everything to get uninterrupted data transfer is so important. Because
Yeah.
otherwise there would be no conflict. It'd just all be solved already.
Yeah, it's the king at the time who used the founding titan to change how their bodies worked. And it's no matter where we go, we subjects of Ymir are like parts of the founding titan. In some ways, kind of like the whole Yggdrasil tree kind of thing. We're all branches along towards the coordinate.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's just like, whoa, isn't that scary? But then, wait, here's an idea. So the founding titan could make it so the subject of Ymir can't bear children,
And Xaver is shooketh
Yeah.
by this.
What I think is so perfect about this is he just realized, like, wait a minute, did I screw up?
Yep.
Because obviously he's
Did I
like,
screw up this kid?
he's like, I know I'm going. No, not did I screw up this kid, but did I screw up in not saving this kid?
Oh.
Because he was already screwed
Oh.
up from his parents.
I wasn't thinking that at all.
No.
Okay.
Because in this case, I think here he's basically saying, oh, I thought back to the memory of the guy said, "Why you keep pumping out kids?" And he's like, oh, well then, what if we just sterilized everyone? Final solution, much? It's really, really, really disturbing. And then just the idea that he's so shocked by this, even though he's been in despair all this time, and he's like, yeah, if I didn't live, then yeah, I wouldn't have to suffer in this world anymore. He's not wholly against it.
Right, he's kind of seeing how even yeah, okay, so this is where I think the poetry of this really comes into play. Parents have a very strong effect on their children.
Very strong.
Positive or negative, intentional or not.
Yeah.
In Grisha's case, he was specifically trying to make a little mini him,
Yeah.
right? We saw how that went. Didn't go well. In Xaver's case, he had no such intentions,
Yeah.
and yet he kind of turned Zeke into a very similar version of himself with the whole thing of, oh, I shouldn't exist in this world because of what happened to my wife and son.
Right.
And now Zeke's like, I shouldn't really exist in this world either, and maybe none of us should. Maybe that's the best option. And he's like, oh God, what have I done? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Ay. Yeah. But then this is the opposite of Aaron's, you know.
Mm-hmm. If
Because I was born in this world. He's like,
right,
well,
if
we
only
hadn't
we
been
weren't born in this
we
into
wouldn't
this
have had
world.
to suffer.
Yeah.
And it's just something like, well, Xavier's like, well, then I guess I'll tell you. I had a family once. And in my foolish youth, I removed my armband. I knew I couldn't hide it forever, but when my wife found out I was Eldian... yeah, she killed herself and
Their son.
her son. And I don't even want to show this on the screen. This is just...
Oh yeah,
It's just
that's
screwed up.
That's all kinds of brutal.
Also, I really like the way that we see the environment in his mind before we see what's on the ground that he's looking at here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whoops, never mind. We do see her lying there on the ground.
Yeah.
So that's actually the first thing that we see.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to bring this up because this was like a really cool way to just show how broken he was. That in the frame here, suddenly there's a bookshelf and a toy, you know, little ram there, and we're
Yep.
like, oh,
He's
man,
getting sent back.
this
fact,
is...
he was
yeah,
probably
yeah.
living with these images for a very long time, and then all of a sudden Zeke showed up and he kind of forgot about them for a bit.
Look at the carriage toy. It looks like Zeke and Aaron. Ooh, where? Let me see this.
Oh.
Oh, dang. That is freaky.
That
That
some
is
scary
actually
shit.
freaky. Whoa. I mean, there's a blonde girl doll there
Historia.
as well. It's Historia. There you go.
She's like, no, I thought that after Aramika was shot down that there was a chance for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If only I hadn't been born in this world. And this feels like the repetition of what Zeke, sorry, not Zeke, Aaron did to Grandpa Yeager, basically.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I don't think Zeke was intentionally trying to push anything onto this guy at all.
No.
He was just speaking his mind freely and openly with this guy because they have no issues talking about their stuff in this area where they've never probably been caught talking about anti-Marley and, you know, stuff in general.
But they're connected.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say by paths,
Yeah.
although they will be soon.
But then he's like, well, I'll take the Beast Titan, not for Marley, but to retake the Founding Titan
And save the world.
and save the world. And just the idea that he's now actually carrying out, in a lot of ways, his own version of Grisha's mission that he was setting up for him.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing of when your parents or your mentor or the most influential people in your life push you into a specific direction to the point where you end up going down that path even though you swore and swore and swore that you would never basically go into that. Do I need to look away?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay,
it's all
okay.
good.
Oh, okay, cool. That's just dark poetry there. It's just
Oh, yeah.
sad. All right. And then he tells him about the way to get around the vow renouncing war.
And we have concrete mechanics for the whole Founding Titan Royal Blood thing.
However, the power isn't yours to use. That right lies with the Founding Titan. Oh my god, I am so excited about that. 'Cause that validates almost like half the theories I have just in general.
Mm-hmm.
So the Founding Titan needs to be someone you trust, someone who understands the plan. I'll
All right,
always
Dad, I'll
be
eat
watching
you.
over you, Zeke. I'll find someone like that.
Father.
Ugh. And then Reiner and Bertolt come back.
So there's this guy named Jaeger who's got the
Aaron
coordinate
Yeager.
and the Founding Titan and everything.
Yeah, so basement is house in Shiganshina. There's some sort of like important information in there.
And it's just like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
I believe he said his father's missing and was an absolute dick. Or wait, no.
Oh my god.
And the way it instantly sets him back to being a kid. Even as, big a dude he is now, and unbelievable. That father was alive. Even knowing that he's not alive anymore, that father was alive. Childhood trauma. It's a hell of a thing.
Yeah. And so he assumes, oh, I'm going to be able to connect with him.
Yeah.
Because we've both been under the same brainwash, obviously.
And I love it because here we see that it really does. It is genuine. He wants to save his brother, right? The
Right.
brother that he never knew existed. He's like, I got to get you out of there.
Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Yep.
So then they actually talk in Liberio, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel so vindicated that this was actually like a thing
Mm-hmm.
all along. And then Aaron brings up the idea of, hey, 4 years ago, some of Dad's memories opened up to me, memories of when he slaughtered the Walls royal family,
Yep.
which is interesting because that was not something that came about from his own doing. That was something that came about because of Historia and Rod Rice.
Race?
It was Reiss.
Yeah, I
So
can't
probably
remember.
Rice.
Yeah,
probably.
we had the same discussion back in season
Yeah.
3, part 1.
But
yeah.
anyway, that moment back then. And there were so many like other things that's happened since then, but
Well, yeah, I mean, even
all
if you
the
can't
way back
process it,
then.
just the idea that, oh shit, I remember squishing kids.
Yeah, I did that.
I don't know how I feel about that.
In the
It puts
same
a
way-
lot more perspective into when he
He
says
said
to
to
Armin
Armin
of
about
like,
Bertolt. Yep.
Bertolt's memories are in you.
You have an
They'll
enemy
fuck with you.
inside.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
And yeah, those kids dying is what let us live. It's like, whoa. And he's like, oh, so you believe that Father was right? And he's like, no, he was wrong. If aliens hadn't born this city, these people wouldn't have to die in this plan of ours. Now, this is the part where Aaron
This seems totally antithetical to
Aaron can't believe this.
like we have to
There's-
hope, right? Like,
There's
no way.
way.
There's no way, right?
There is no way that Aaron believes this. This has been the point. Like, the fact that Willie Tiber said, well, I don't want to die because I was born into this world. And that woke him up
Yeah.
in that moment in episode 5. I think that there's a possibility.
And then he smiled.
Yes, I think there's a possibility that at this point, Aaron might have thought that
Yeah,
for a
sure.
bit. But there's no way that now.
But it's no, I was born into this world.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
But then what does that mean?
But what does that mean?
Because
What
he's
does that
still
mean?
he's still doing a bunch of things where we're like, no, don't do these things, Aaron.
Yeah.
So if he's not actually on board with the sterilization thing, then what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Then I think he is going to use the Founding Titan's power. It's just not going
yeah.
to be in the way that we would expect. And it's just going to be a question of like, well, no,
Yeah.
he gives
What's
so
he
many
gonna do with it?
he gives so many great lines here. He says, I'll do it. I'll put an end to 2,000 years of Titan domination. Just
Okay, awesome, big statement, love it.
big statement. Yep, love it. What
Gonna
is that?
be intense.
What does that look like? Until then, I keep moving forward. Right, brother? And it's just like, oh.
And this look in Zeke's eyes.
And then Zeke's about to cry here. And he's like, yeah, you're right. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Family, y'all. Family.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could shake your hand, but it's best that we don't make contact just yet. I still am surprised that they didn't make contact here.
I think it's because Zeke was still like, this is our first contact. I'm gonna wait and see.
Right,
You know.
but just the idea that if this is their first contact, you're telling me that Zeke and Aaron never spoke again along all the time that Aaron was here in Liberio?
Just not in person necessarily.
Yeah, see, that just feels so weird to me. Why not, though? Like,
Well, okay, so I was actually thinking about
if he
this.
doesn't trust him here, when is he going to trust him later?
So there's a possibility that this basically happened, and in fact, there's probably a decent likelihood that this happened after Zeke had made the announcement of, hey, maybe we should try and retake parody, and that was going to be the way that he was going to establish contact with Eren. But then all of a sudden, he actually gets they talk here, and then it's okay, that doesn't really need to happen. But since that's already in motion, let's wait to see what's going to happen there at that whole conference thing, because who knows, maybe it'll go well. Maybe we won't have to. Maybe people won't go along with it. Who knows? I don't know.
Okay.
But
oh boy. Okay.
yeah, I love that even after listening to Eren himself speak, we cannot be really sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Because we aren't seeing Eren talking by himself. It's always in front of someone else.
Yeah. Then we have Zeke just with his moment of...
Mr. Saber, I hope you're watching. Like...
They even did the anime eye quiver thing. Look at his eyelids.
Oh, yeah,
and stuff.
He's absolutely about to be sobbing. It may be raining, but that's not rain.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so he decides to...
witness me.
Yeah. Take his life, basically. And in the time that it takes for Levi to,
oh shit,
draw his blades,
Uh-huh.
and make this move here, click, boom, with the water droplets.
Yeah,
and everything.
following in slow motion.
God,
I love it so much.
These little bits of animation
man.
on Levi's face here as he's just like,
Oh, I did not expect this. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I give Levi's chance of surviving at about a 55%.
What would you
And
give
it gives
Zeke?
Zeke's at about a 50%.
Yeah, I love it. Give the Ackerman a higher % chance of survival than the regenerating person.
Just
I mean,
a
the
slight
explosive
bit.
is inside
It's
him, and
literally
he'd taken-
inside him.
And he'd taken lots of damage. And,
Yeah.
yeah. And it would make sense for the explosive to be in the tip. And, yeah.
And
Like, we've seen all
now,
those
they
asteroid
definitely
saving
show Levi's body flung away.
movies. Yes.
And they also showed Zeke's parts
Yeah.
flying away. So I want to look at Zeke's parts and kind of get so there's that bit of him there.
Uh-huh.
So he
There's a
didn't
bit of
get,
Zeke over
he didn't
there,
get
over
caught
there,
in
and up
flame.
there.
He didn't get caught in the flames there.
Sure.
Which
Although
means
that probably wouldn't do too
Which means that
much.
that's probably just the top half of Zeke. So then Zeke. Okay.
So that is Zeke.
Yep. Okay. So let me enhance.
I
So I
love
think this
it.
is just the top half of Zeke. I think you can very clearly see his pecs, his boobs, his arms, his head, and then torso, and then you can see smoke coming off of the rest of him here. Wait, what? Oh, you guys are talking about Jean. Because of the horse. Oh, you guys are horrible. You guys are horrible.
You can't just ignore Jean.
Yeah, Jean's like, I feel a disturbance. That's so goofy. Oh my god. All right. Let's see. Okay, yep. Confirmation. That is Zeke's top half here. There we go. Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
That is our boy's top half.
Not really anything else.
So yeah, he kinda messed up. This is not gonna work out for him. I could very much see Levi being out of the fight now in a very season 2 style, where it's like for the next like
That'd be a great way to do it.
or something. It's that Levi is hobbling,
Right. Yeah, if anything, that I mentioned how
or
Levi
that
is
Leek will be like have a wound that's infected and he'll slowly die,
that is probably the one trick that Isayama uses to keep Levi from
Yep,
breaking everything.
that's true.
Is that he
Yeah.
was removed almost entirely
From season
from
2.
season 2 and then also from the very end of season 1
Yep.
because of Mikasa's decision and then him breaking his leg and whatnot.
Right. Even though they didn't need him at the end of season 1 to stop Annie, it would have
But
made things a lot quicker.
He had to have a solid limp for a couple days before, recovering from that.
Schrodinger chances for both being alive.
I guess we'll have to see next episode. But theoretically, next episode could just
Wow.
focus on Shiganshina and everything and the warriors and all that stuff.
Chat. Hey, Zeke lost the ability to reproduce. Sorry. Hey, Zeke just euthanized 2 people. He's 0.00001% towards achieving his goal.
Would his penis regenerate, though? I think it would.
I think his penis would absolutely regenerate.
Like, if he was going to regenerate, so would his penis.
Like, I think his penis would regenerate last, so that it wouldn't be under a lot of pain,
Well, here's the real question. We've seen arms and fingers and limbs and stuff when they're in the process of, like, on the way to regenerating.
Right.
What would a dick look like on the way to regenerating, but not
you've
fully
been to health
regenerated?
class before. You've seen, like, the x-rays of, that kind of stuff in general. Oh, we missed some bits? Oh, okay. Sorry. Mr. Sniper with the 7 months of Twitch Prime. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Zaldrix of the 100 bits. Hold up. You're telling me that the founder had the power to make cat girls and never did it. God
real
bless you,
questions.
Isayama. God bless you.
Well,
He's
because
like-
he didn't?
Yeah. Because he could have had cat girls in this world all along.
Yeah, and he's like,
had
no,
and
it
an
totally
in-universe
doesn't
reason
work.
for it. And at the very end of the show, he'd be like, you always wondered why cat girls were a thing. Here you are.
Maybe that's the happy ending. Everything repeats again.
Mikasa
but
gets to become a cat girl?
No, I was going to say everything repeats again, but at least there's cat girls now. And then Mikasa is sad because she doesn't get to be a cat girl.
Oh. Gotcha. So Armin gets to be a little cat boy. And...
What if Titans turned into... No, that's terrifying.
I was literally thinking about that next. I was like, wait, who would be the cat titan?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Wait, that's... No,
Neko
terrible
Titan.
joke.
Wow.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Phoenix Master with the 100 bits. I believe that Aaron does agree with Zeke to a degree. He believes it would be great to have never been born in the first place, but because he was born into this world, therefore he wishes to remain in this world, thus bringing the I was born into this world idea. Yeah,
Okay.
and Jacob and I talked about this by bringing up a Lord of the Rings quote that I was thinking of at the time, which was...
Yes. I wish the ring had never come to me.
Yes. I wish the ring had never come to me. I wish I had never lived to see such times.
Right.
Or I wish I had never... None of this had ever happened. And then Gandalf has his, so do all who live to see such times, but that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us.
Right.
And there are...
Or the paths, in this case.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And, of course, the horsey, bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
And to be continued.
Yep.
Wow, guys, we did it in under 4 hours.
Under 4 hours.
I told someone in Discord because they were like, if they'll only, do you think they'll be able to make it under 4 hours? I'm like, that's very doable.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they were like, not possible, Basaka. But that's it. There's the discussion.
Yep.
Oh, Jaws Titan is basically Cat Titan, to be fair. That's
That's
true,
true.
Gaius. That is true, Gaius.
That is very
Thanks
true.
Thanks for the bits. Yeah.
But, guys, everyone, we have a single episode left in this part of Attack on Titan.
1 episode!
And then guess what? We're going to have to wait.
We're gonna have to wait!
We're going to have to wait on whatever kind of crazy shit they pull next
What
week.
kind of mid-credit scene do you think we'll get? Like mid-credits.
We already got Historia wound back alluding to time travel. Like,
Oh, that's right. Yeah. From season 3, part 1.
yeah, I don't know if
Okay.
anything can top that.
Okay. No. So no. I've got it, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what it'll be.
Yeah.
My brain just shorted out.
Paths connection. You were on the right track.
I
and
need
then
someone
all of a
with
sudden-
royal blood. Jacob, help me out here.
Person with royal blood put you into the situation. They're like, nope, you can't be thinking about that. Remove that memory.
Jacob, we have to shake hands here to tap into paths. No. Hold the connection, man. Hold the connection.
It's too much. It's too much. I can't. I'll try and shield him from it, chat.
Okay. I have an idea. Mid-credit scene, right? Mm-hmm. We have the Falco kind of, lifting up to the sky and, his eyes shut and stuff going on and the ED is playing.
Mm-hmm.
Then Falco wakes up. And it's him having like a vision, like an experience of some kind.
Yeah.
And it's something that is like a taste of the future or something like that, or it's someone else's memories or whatever, and he just kind of, and that's basically the mid credits teaser.
Okay.
Is that it's something where Falco
This
was
is such a
intentionally
you
put
idea.
into the ED.
You love Falco so much.
I do. But like, Falco has to turn into a Titan, right? But I want him to turn into a Titan shifter.
So
So that he can have basically that moment where he saves Gabby, and then Gabby realizes that Falco had to die basically in order to keep her safe, and then yeah.
you're gonna hate me for saying this, but Isayama actually said in an interview, I believe it was, that the reason why.
Wait, whoa.
No. This is talking about something that was added to the anime that wasn't in the manga.
Okay.
But the whole bit of the I was just flying around with swords, killing titans and stuff.
No.
He added that.
No.
Well, one, yes, he added that. But two, specifically, he said that he added that because he wasn't sure if people would know that it was Attack on Titan they were watching. And he was like, but if we put that at the beginning, then it's kind of like telling the audience, don't worry, this is still Attack on Titan. It's still Attack on Titan that we're watching.
Ah! You're kidding me. That's really the reason?
Yep.
You're lying.
Not lying.
You're lying. That's it? That's it? What?
Yep, it was a meta joke.
No! No! What? What? Why would you do that? Why?
Oh, man.
What? Thanks, 100 bits. Good work today, bros. Thank you, Jenny. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yep. Isayama is a huge troll. Like there was a point where when someone, I think I might have told you about this one, but when someone asked him who's your favorite character, who's your favorite female character in Attack on Titan,
I got it. Don't.
Oh.
Jacob.
Oh.
I said stop.
Oh.
I was like, let me guess who he
Oh,
said, but
okay,
I wasn't
yeah.
gonna say Armin. So
Yeah,
whatever.
So, and a bunch of people took it seriously and were like, wait, Armin's been a girl this whole time? Wait, what? We need to rethink everything.
The one interview I think I've seen with Isayama is an old one, and it's the one where he talked about the idea that one of the inspirations for the show or the manga in general was the idea of things need to eat other things in order to survive.
Ah, okay.
And it was that idea that kind of propagated the general idea of big people eating smaller people, kind of thing. And, Attack on Titan. And that's a really funny one because in a lot of ways that still kind of applies as a theme to like the current stuff going on in Attack on Titan. So, yeah. Someone used this reaction for the ending of Attack on Titan reaction.
He once said Attack on Titan and he had made all the readers cry, he would open a spa and use the tears for it. I believe it.
Oh, can I actually just throw out some wild theories just about the end of this series in general? Mm-hmm. Because one of the ones that I very much expect to have happen is just, all right, everybody's gonna die. Like, just everybody's gonna die. Remember that bit where he was like, I originally was gonna write this so that everyone would die in season 1.
And then it's like, I just put it off for a few seasons.
I just put it off until the end when I actually kill
another
everyone.
100 plus chapters or whatever.
Yep. And then I actually just kill everyone. But I will guarantee you, Falco survives. 100%. Falco survives. Definitely.
That's a good theory.
That should I bet money?
Well, okay. If we're going to do this betting money, we also have to clarify, we're talking this timeline, right? Like, so if it's some kind of, like, reset, like, try the next timeline or whatever where Falco is alive in that one, that wouldn't count. Has to be that in this timeline, him actually being alive.
Oh, I get what you're saying. That if at, like, the very, very
right.
last
if for
5 seconds,
yeah.
that if it's a world line where Falco lives, but he died in something that was
this
reset
timeline
or whatever, that it doesn't count. No, you can't bet it in berries because we have infinite berries. It doesn't work that way. Well, yeah,
So
and
this timeline-
I hadn't thought about that, so then I'm not going to make that bet just in general then, because it gets kind of dumb then, because
Right. Well, and that's the
Because
reason
then-
why I'm so scared about how this is going to end. Is because theoretically, once you
then
introduce time
there should
travel,
be consequences.
right? There should be consequences,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
why I really don't want it to be something where it just resets into another timeline. That would
Yeah,
suck,
I
right?
agree, yeah.
But that could happen.
Yeah.
So
Well, hey, I'll say this:
Eh.
the way they're pushing this thus far,
Mm-hmm.
I think Aaron's gonna die.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, because I mean, one, he's a Titan shifter, so he has to die eventually. But just
Yeah,
I
It
definitely
would-
think
it-
Aaron's gonna die.
Right. Even if he has some other plan or something, it would be so fitting for like him to die, and then Mikasa, comes to him as he's dying, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Mikasa and Armin, of course. I'm a shipper, but and then he's like, I'm sorry, or something like that, or whatever, right? I don't know.
I just think that if this is the whole thing of you have to sacrifice,
Mm-hmm.
you have to sacrifice, and then the one thing he could sacrifice is not just his life, but then by extension his freedom. If he is free,
Sure.
then he could truly sacrifice his
Yeah.
own
What
freedom.
would be the biggest thing that Aaron could sacrifice? It probably would be his freedom.
It probably would be his freedom, by extension his life as well. So
If anything, if the founding titan, this is one of the things that I just wonder, because I want there to be some kind of happy ending. I want Aaron and Mikasa to go live on a farm somewhere, but more importantly, I
I
want
could totally
Reiner.
see there being some kind of a happy ending.
I want
but I don't think
Reiner
it'll
to be
with
able
Aaron.
to just live out his days and get therapy and things like that. I would love it if there was
Reiner.
some way to use the founding titan to alter the anatomy of Children of Ymir, so that them getting turned into titans doesn't have a 13-year limit or whatever.
Yes, that would
so
be
that
really
the-
cool.
Or so that the people that have it wiped clean or something. I don't know.
Okay,
but
what would you change to make a happy ending in the anatomy of Eldians to make this a happy ending? First things first, I would take away the ability for them to turn into Titans.
sure.
It's just plain as day obvious.
Uh-huh.
Why does there need to be a specific race? And in fact, hold on, that might be something that they actually can't do because it's a curse, right?
Well, yeah, but that
Why
curse
hasn't
is,
they done that
Curse
yet?
is probably a propaganda type thing. or
Totally,
whatever.
because
Like,
that's the other thing. Xavier
you know-
says it was more that the founder
Every-
Ymir touched something.
Well,
that
but-
doesn't sound like a curse. That
Sure.
sounds more like the founder Ymir discovered something.
But then there's also the whole idea of, everyone who has power is afraid to lose it.
Well, yeah,
Even
the
the
Eldian
Jedi.
Empire wouldn't want to take away their super
Right.
weapon,
Exactly.
but oh no, that's a really good point.
And that would be too simple of a
No,
solution
Jacob,
if-
that's it. No, that
Wait,
is
wait.
it. Listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
The Eldian Empire existed until very recently.
Yeah, 100 years ago. Yeah.
But that was when the king, the current
Renounced
founder,
war.
renounced war, went to Parody and said, "Please don't interfere with us."
But
Let
he
us
was
have
really
this little
waiting
bit of
for them
parity."
to come in and kill them all
and punish
because
them,
he-
basically.
Right.
But that means there was no point where there was a founder that was thinking about an alternate solution to either Eldian Empire or,
the
hide
final
on
solution.
Parody
Yeah.
or we all die.
Uh-huh.
So Aaron kind of
But
has to find this kind of a solution.
the thing that makes me wonder about this, and I love that I can actually talk about this openly, because we're getting to that point where it's like we're almost at stuff that I've seen, but this timeline iteration thing has happened at the very least once, probably quite a few times, right?
Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter, but
doesn't.
but the thing is that a solution hasn't been found yet, so I feel like it can't be something that's
No, that
straightforward.
no, that totally could be it. Because it's just a thing
Maybe.
of where just because that's a thing that is a solution, that doesn't mean that the rest of the world will accept it. It's
Sure.
a thing of where they could totally do it, and then it's just like, yeah, we don't care that there was some metaphysical shift or whatever.
You
We're
still
still
did
go-
all these
You're
things,
still,
and we
you,
still hate
yeah,
you.
you're still these horrible people, so we're going
Uh-huh.
to
That's
imprison
true.
you all in for the
Yeah,
sins
'cause-
of your...
right, because they
Now
haven't
it's just
exactly
easier to do it.
They haven't really been banking on the sins of the current people that are living. I mean, there's
Exactly.
the idea of the potential things they could do if they turned into Titans, but
Yeah, but they're not blaming the Marleyans as much because they utilized the Titans as weapons. The other nations would have probably done the exact same thing if they had access to
and
the
they've
Eldians like
started
that.
to resent the Marleyans for it for sure. But that's still
totally.
something that's only started happening in the last 100 years. So it's much less
Remember,
of a
the
thing.
Marleyans weren't even able to fight back until the last 100 years.
Oh yeah, no, I almost you're right.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then, in this case, That's one of the solutions that makes perfect sense for it if you were to change the biology of people. The other one, and this would be one that would be a little bit wacky, is you could maybe make a new curse, if that makes sense.
Maybe. Well, okay, so someone says, even if the Titan power can be removed, the founder could always bring it back in the future. The fear won't disappear unless this is one of the ways that maybe Eren could die, is if he does something that makes it so that
breaks
no one
the source.
Well, if he makes it so that no one else can become Titans and then he dies, no one can inherit the founding Titan because they can't become Titans.
Yep.
And then it would end with him.
Yeah.
And maybe that would be a way to do the sacrifice bit.
Yeah.
But
And the other way that you could do this, and this would be a bit of a humanist kind of really kind of creepy way to do this,
yeah.
but you could basically make it be a way where it's oh, no, as long as there's just no one with royal blood out there, we're going to pass down this founding Titan that can't transform into a Titan, but will retain the
memories.
The story. They'll be the vessel by which all that
and then
is
that's how we get
humanity's-
the narrator kind of a thing.
right, and then we get the
Even though that hasn't
history,
really been done
and it's
since season
basically
one.
this being of pure light that holds the truth of humanity, and as long as human beings learned the lesson that this child would then reincarnate into the next people that have it there.
That's actually true.
There's some really sweet things you could go into with that, where it's the God walks among us kind of thing, but it's not something that could ever be used in a vengeful way. So yeah.
If the royal lineage dies, the coordinate can be used.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm talking
So
about.
literally, Zeke,
Historia.
and her baby.
Yep.
Dark, but 3 lives. Huh. And of course, pure Titans could still be made.
Yeah.
Just the coordinate couldn't be used. So
Yeah, I don't think making more Ackermans is the solution, though, chess player. I don't think making them immune to the founding Titan's abilities really matters if there's no one that can transform into Titans.
Well, and that would have been done already. Like it's the whole thing of how does Isayama make this a believable solution that it solves the problem, but not feel like a Deus Ex Machina that could have been done at any time, right? Like, especially for things as serious as what Attack on Titan's been getting into recently. He's got his work cut out for him. I know there's only the 1 chapter left, and that's coming out soon. And it was pretty cool reading articles of Attack on Titan only has 3 chapters left or whatever, and it's and Isayama and his editor have gone on the record to say that they're basically having shogi strategy sessions for how to end it, for how to do the last couple chapters.
Isayama just admits, so guys, we're breaking the publishing rules, and because I'm Isayama, they're letting me do it. The last chapter is 175 pages.
It's just a whole tankobon volume.
Can you imagine that? If basically he's the editor basically just rewrote the rules and was hey.
I mean, Isayama could get away with it, I think. How he'd do that in the production schedule, I don't know. It's we're going on hiatus from Attack on Titan manga for 4 months for some reason, But
wait, Rei Kiriyama has been consulted? Wow!
No, Rei Kiriyama is the main character from March Comes in Like a Lion.
No, that's Shogi. Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's another mangaka though that has Akira Toriyama. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
That would be a very interesting consultation for Attack on Titan.
Yeah. Cool, but where'd the rumbling fit in your theory? Well, the rumbling is more of a thing of, if it happens, it's probably you gonna summon the world? You're gonna bring the world here? I can do it. I can Thanos it.
Yeah.
I can do it at any time.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
Don't think I won't.
That's the part that is a little bit just in the scary category here, is that Eren could totally do it.
Attack on Titan, chapter 139, section 1 out of 45.
Right. But I could totally see it being a thing of where it's I do it, but I have such precise control over it that I'm and wall. you know, or
We'll
or
do
it's
the
kind
same
of-
thing we've done before, but it's going to be a dome this time, so you can't get your Zeppelins in.
Yeah, or it's the kind of thing of where Aaron's like, yeah, I'll do it, and I'll just do it to buy time. Like, it's just like,
God.
oh my God.
Oh,
like,
God.
no. But I don't think we're at that point yet.
Well, that's
because
the thing.
the world is going to take a while to assemble and everything.
Well,
so
that's
he
the-
has no reason to do that kind of stuff now.
Right. The thing that worries me a bit from the standpoint of the story, but then also meta, I don't want the story to end like this, is that with the things that Aaron has been doing, what if the reason he was doing these things is because, this actually is starting to seem like a bad timeline, and things need to be
Sure.
reset, so it doesn't matter what happens on the road till then, and then I just need to make sure that I get to that point where, you can just do it over different.
Sure.
But, yeah. Anyways, I think we've talked about just about all we can talk about possibly about these last 2 episodes. They were a real doozy pair.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Zaldric to the 100 bits, thank you so much. We solved the Eldian issue in chat. Forget who suggested this idea, but I loved it so much, I made something for it.
Oh, God.
Oh my God, okay.
I think maybe you'll need to scroll up and...
I need to scroll up and
yeah,
find
but 12
it.
minutes, that might be... Oh,
Up
wait.
here. No?
No.
Zaldrix, please resend the
link.
Imgur image link.
But that's a good point, guys. We are just about to hit 4 hours for this podcast.
Yeah.
That is something that we have never even come close to doing before.
Actually, Zaldrix, just send it in the Discord. We'll check it out there.
Sure.
But y'all, thank you so much for hanging out and discussing this. This has been a lot of fun. This has been a really
God.
good time. We got our double Attack on Titan weekend. And next week is the final episode of hopefully part 1 of season 4.
Oh, there it is.
We'll check it out. Yeah, for sure. But yeah. Oh my God. No spines, no Titans. I see this as an absolute win.
Yeah, it's a brilliant solution to a very difficult problem. Yeah.
I'm a genius.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
But catch all of our other streams 3 p.m. Pacific time on every weekday. Jacob is taking my gaming stream on Friday at 3 p.m.
Or
Pacific time.
near 2 streams for 2 ass cheeks.
Yeah, so we've got Wednesday with my gaming stream, Thursday and Friday for Jacob's gaming stream, Tuesday for One Piece dramatic manga reading, and Monday for more Attack on Titan. But
Next
y'all-
week, the last episode of the part.
Exactly. But y'all, thank you so much, and we'll see you all in the next one. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb,
I'm Jacob.
and we'll see you all next time.